The lingering resonance of the palace clock's chime gently fades, leaving the quiet air of your embroidered chambers. You feel the slow release of the feather mattress beneath you, a familiar softness giving way as you shift your weight. The heavy linen sheet, cool and smooth where it has been undisturbed, now gathers slightly around your limbs, a subtle rustle accompanying your movement. You push back the thick velvet-lined quilt, its weight momentarily resisting before falling silently to the side of the bed. Your bare feet meet the cool, polished oak floorboards. Each plank feels solid and ancient beneath your soles, worn smooth by generations of quiet footsteps. You stand for a moment, letting the gentle chill of the morning air caress your skin, a refreshing contrast to the warmth of your bed. Moving deliberately, you cross the room towards the small, ornate washing stand. The porcelain basin, hand-painted with delicate blue floral motifs, gleams faintly in the filtering dawn light. A small ewer of warmed, scented water stands ready beside it. You reach out, your fingertips tracing the cool, smooth curve of the ewer's handle, the metal feeling substantial and well used. A faint, sweet scent of rosewater rises as you pour a small amount into the basin, the liquid whispering softly against the ceramic. You cup the water in your hands, its warmth a soothing comfort as you gently splash your face. The sensation is clean and awakening, yet profoundly gentle. A soft linen towel, meticulously folded, lies nearby. You lift it, feeling the fine weave against your skin as you pat your face dry, the fabric absorbing the last droplets with quiet efficiency. The subtle aroma of clean linen and rose lingers, a delicate veil. You turn, noticing the quiet presence of your attendant, who has moved silently into the chamber. Without a word, they hold out a simple undertunic of fine, unbleached cotton. You slip your arms into the sleeves, feeling the soft, breathable fabric settle against your skin, a foundation for the day's more formal attire. The attendant then presents your outer robes, a deep forest green wool, lined with a lighter silk. The wool has a comforting weight, a slight texture that speaks of natural fibers and skilled weaving. The inner silk, however, is exquisitely smooth, sliding over your cotton tunic with effortless grace. You allow the attendant to fasten the simple ties, your gaze drifting towards the leaded glass window. The panes are slightly cool to the touch as you rest a hand against the frame. Beyond, the palace gardens are just beginning to awaken, shrouded in a soft, pearlescent mist. You can discern the dark shapes of yew hedges and the bare branches of winter trees, hinting at the structured beauty that will emerge with the sun. A distant, muffled clatter, perhaps from the kitchens, reaches your ears, a subtle reminder of the bustling life within the palace walls. You pause, simply observing the quiet tableau outside, allowing your mind to settle. The scent of beeswax and old wood, ever present in these chambers, mingles with the faint, lingering rosewater. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the air fill your lungs, a sense of readiness beginning to unfurl within you. The day ahead, with its precise measurements and quiet studies, calls with a gentle insistence. You turn from the window, the soft soles of your slippers making almost no sound on the polished oak floor, drawing you towards the next quiet moment. The cool morning air, still carrying the faint scent of damp earth and awakening blossoms, greets you as you step from the palace's stone archway into the private rose garden. The mist, which you observed from your chamber window, now swirls gently around the pathways, softening the edges of the clipped hedges and making the world feel hushed and intimate. Your slippers tread softly on the fine gravel path, each stone offering a subtle, quiet crunch beneath your weight as you move. You follow the winding path, past beds of lavender just beginning to unfurl their delicate purple spikes, their fragrance not yet fully released by the sun. Ahead, the rose bushes stand, their blooms heavy with the night's moisture. The air here is richer, saturated with the sweet, deep perfume of hundreds of damask roses, a scent that is both familiar and utterly fresh in the cool dawn. Each petal holds tiny, perfect spheres of dew, catching the nascent light and sparkling like miniature jewels. Your gaze falls upon the small group of attendants, already at work amongst the bushes. They move with a quiet reverence, their figures almost blending into the muted greens and grays of the early morning garden. Each holds a delicate, wide-mouthed crystal vial, its surface gleaming faintly, and a square of the finest, softest linen cloth. Their movements are practiced and precise, a ballet of careful collection, honed by years of such quiet mornings. You observe one attendant, kneeling beside a low-hanging branch laden with the deepest crimson blooms. With utmost care, they gently tilt a single rose, its velvety petals cool and soft to the touch, allowing the pooled dew to gather at the lowest point of a particular curve. Then, with an almost imperceptible motion, they press the very corner of the fine linen cloth, chosen for its exceptional absorbency, against the glistening droplet. The fabric drinks the water silently, a tiny damp spot appearing, leaving the petal itself untouched and unharmed. The attendant then, with a slow, controlled squeeze, presses the now damp cloth over the narrow opening of their crystal vial, and you hear the faintest, almost inaudible plink as the dew releases and falls into the glass vessel. This process repeats, petal by petal, bush by bush. The air remains still, punctuated only by the soft rustle of leaves as a branch is carefully moved, or the occasional, distant call of a garden bird. The light continues to brighten, slowly dispelling the last tendrils of mist, revealing more vibrant hues in the rose petals, soft pinks, deep reds, and creamy whites, all glistening with the precious morning moisture. The dew, pure and untainted by the day's sun, holds a subtle potency, essential for the delicate preparations awaiting in your apothecary. You take a moment, allowing your fingers to brush lightly against a dew-laden leaf, feeling the cool, slick moisture transfer to your skin. It is a fleeting, refreshing touch, connecting you to the natural world. The collective effort, so quiet and focused, creates a gentle rhythm in the garden, a peaceful hum of shared purpose. You watch as the crystal vials slowly fill, each tiny drop a testament to the meticulous care given to this morning ritual. The subtle fragrance of the roses, now mingled with the fresh, clean scent of the collected dew, envelops you, creating a tranquil cocoon in the waking garden. You turn to retrace your steps, the gravel path offering the same soft crunch as before. The sun is now a little higher, casting longer shadows across the lawn, promising a clear day. The collected dew, secured in its crystal containers, will soon make its way to your private laboratory, a quiet promise for the day's precise work. The quiet hum of the palace interior envelops you as you enter your private study, the morning light streaming through its tall leaded glass windows. The air here is warmer than the garden, carrying the subtle, comforting scent of aged parchment, dried herbs, and polished wood. Your soft slippers make almost no sound on the intricate pattern of the Turkish rug that covers the stone floor, absorbing any echo. You move towards the large, heavy oak desk positioned near the window, a place chosen for its abundant natural light. The surface of the desk, worn smooth by countless hours of study, feels cool and solid beneath your fingertips as you lean slightly upon it. Dust motes, caught in the sunbeams, drift lazily through the still air, visible only for a fleeting moment before disappearing into the shadows. On the desk, a thick leather-bound folio rests, its brass clasps gleaming softly. This is the volume you seek. With a measured breath, you reach for the folio. The leather is dark and supple, its surface textured with the subtle imperfections of age and careful handling. The brass clasps, cool to your touch, release with a soft, precise click as you unlatch them. The sound is low, almost swallowed by the quiet of the room. You lift the heavy cover, feeling the weight of the book, a collection of some of the rarest botanical illustrations known. The pages within are thick vellum, their edges slightly softened over centuries. You turn the first few pages slowly, the vellum offering a faint, dry rustle as it separates. Each sheet reveals a hand-painted depiction of a plant, rendered with exquisite detail and vibrant, natural pigments that seem to defy the passage of time. The morning light bathes the page, illuminating the delicate strokes of the artist's brush. You pause at an illustration of a plant known as Digitalis purpurea, or foxglove, its bell-shaped flowers depicted in shades of purple and white. Your gaze traces the intricate venation of a single leaf, the subtle shading conveying its velvety texture. You can almost imagine the coolness of its surface, the tiny hairs that would brush against your skin. The artist has captured the slight curve of the stem, the way the flowers droop in a natural cascade. You observe the tiny specks of white and deep maroon within the throat of each bloom, details so fine they require a moment of focused attention. A faint, earthy scent, perhaps from the vellum itself, or the dried botanicals pressed years ago between its pages, rises subtly. The light shifts almost imperceptibly as you study the illustration, a cloud passing overhead, momentarily dimming the room before the sun reclaims its gentle hold. You notice the precise way the roots are drawn, delving into the earth, a reminder of the plant's hidden strength and its profound connection to the soil. This particular volume, brought from a distant monastery, is a treasure, each drawing a careful record of nature's subtle power. You allow your eyes to drift over the Latin script, carefully penned beneath the illustration, detailing the plant's properties and preparation. The ink, dark and rich, stands out against the creamy vellum. The quiet satisfaction of this solitary study, the gentle turning of pages, the careful observation of natural forms, fills the space. You close the folio with the same slow, deliberate motion, the brass clasps clicking softly back into place, a gentle seal on the knowledge within. The room remains still, holding the promise of further quiet contemplation. Leaving the folio, its heavy leather cover now settled back on the desk, your gaze drifts towards the tall, slender apothecary cabinet in the corner of your study. Its dark walnut wood gleams softly in the morning light, a silent sentinel against the far wall. The intricate carvings along its edges, depicting intertwined vines and delicate leaves, invite a moment of quiet appreciation before you approach. You reach out, your fingertips tracing the cool, polished brass of a small handle. With a gentle pull, the cabinet door swings open smoothly on its well-oiled hinges, revealing rows of various glass vessels. A faint, complex scent, a subtle blend of dried herbs, precious oils, and the underlying aroma of polished wood, gently unfurls into the air of the room. It is a scent unique to this space, a quiet signature of your craft. Your eyes scan the organized shelves, noting the different shapes and sizes of the imported vials. You select a small spherical vial of clear Venetian glass, its surface cool and remarkably smooth beneath your fingers. The glass is incredibly thin, almost weightless, yet feels strong and perfectly formed. Inside, a handful of dried saffron threads glow like tiny embers, their faint, sweet, hay-like aroma subtly reaching you as you lift the delicate vessel. You turn it slowly, watching how the light catches the deep orange-red strands, illuminating their intricate, delicate structure. You find its designated place, a velvet-lined compartment where it rests securely. As you carefully slide it back into its slot, the glass meets the soft fabric with a gentle, almost inaudible shush, a sound of perfect fit and quiet order. The velvety texture of the lining, a deep forest green, absorbs any potential clatter, ensuring the precious contents remain undisturbed. Next, you choose a taller, cylindrical bottle, this one crafted from a darker, almost smoky glass, stoppered with finely ground cork. It holds a precious, viscous oil, its liquid shimmer barely visible through the thick glass, yet its richer, floral perfume is unmistakable as you lift it. You carefully remove the cork, feeling its smooth, dense texture, and hearing a soft, satisfying trap-to-sten boil as the seal breaks. A wave of concentrated rose oil, deeper and more potent than the fresh garden dew from this morning, fills the air around you, a luxurious whisper of fragrance. You replace the cork with the same measured precision, ensuring a tight seal, and then slide this vial into its own carefully assigned space. As you arrange it, the side of the dark glass brushes against another clear vial, producing a delicate, almost musical clink, a sound that resonates briefly in the quiet room before fading. Each vessel, whether holding a dried herb or a distilled essence, is a miniature treasury, a testament to distant lands and careful preparation. The light continues to brighten outside, softening the shadows within the cabinet, allowing the various hues of the contents to reveal themselves more clearly. The amber of dried resins, the pale green of herbal tinctures, the deep red of a potent extract, each color a silent promise of efficacy and healing. The quiet task of organizing these precious components brings a deep, steady satisfaction, a sense of order in a world of complex natural remedies. You close the cabinet door, the brass handle clicking softly into place, leaving the study to its calm, ordered silence, ready for the day's precise work. The subtle shift in air, from the dry parchment and polished wood of your study to the humid warmth of your private laboratory, marks your arrival. The cool, unyielding stone floor, a stark contrast to the plush Turkish rug you walked across moments ago, feels solid and grounding beneath your slippers as you cross the threshold. A gentle, earthy aroma, mingled with a nascent sweetness, already fills the enclosed space, hinting at the delicate work underway. Your gaze settles upon the copper alembic, a magnificent piece of craftsmanship, standing proudly on a sturdy, dark oak bench. Its polished surface, a burnished bronze, reflects the soft, diffused light streaming from a high, arched window. The metal is warm to the touch as you lay a hand upon its rounded belly, a silent testament to the gentle heat applied beneath. A small, steady flame, carefully managed by an unseen hand, flickers with quiet intensity beneath the copper pot, casting a soft, dancing glow that plays across the burnished metal. The air around the alembic shimmers almost imperceptibly with the rising warmth, a subtle visual distortion. You lean closer, peering into the wide opening of the alembic's pot, where the dried lavender heads, meticulously harvested from your own garden last season, are suspended on a perforated plate above simmering water. Their faded purple hues, now muted, still hold a faint memory of summer fields. As the steam begins its slow, patient ascent, it initiates its delicate work of coaxing forth their precious essence. The initial scent is green and herbaceous, slowly, almost imperceptibly, transforming as the gentle warmth permeates the dried blossoms, deepening into something richer. The vapor, now laden with the plant's aromatic compounds, rises gracefully into the alembic's elegant swan neck, moving with unhurried precision towards the cooling coil. You trace its invisible path with your eyes, imagining the subtle transformation as it condenses back into liquid form. A quiet, persistent bubbling sound emanates from the base of the still, a soft, rhythmic blup-a-blup that is almost hypnotic in its regularity. It is the sound of patient extraction, of nature slowly, willingly yielding its secrets, drop by precious drop. At the very end of the cooling coil, a delicate, clear stream emerges, falling with an exquisite, quiet precision into a waiting crystal receiver. Each drop is distinct, a tiny, perfect sphere, catching and reflecting the light for a fleeting moment, before merging seamlessly into the accumulating pool of liquid. The sound of this slow, deliberate dripping is a soft, rhythmic plink, 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 echoing gently in the otherwise hushed room. The collected liquid, an almost invisible film of oil resting on the surface of the water, is the pure lavender essence, its fragrance now intensely concentrated, clean, and profoundly sweet. An attendant, positioned discreetly in the background, moves with silent grace. They carefully adjust a small brass valve on the cooling water system, ensuring a constant, cool flow to maintain the precise temperature for condensation. Their movements are focused, their presence a quiet assurance that the delicate balance of the apparatus is perfectly maintained. The subtle metallic whir of the valve, barely audible, quickly fades back into the ambient quiet of the laboratory. You notice the steady, almost imperceptible rise of the liquid level in the crystal receiver, a slow, patient accumulation of botanical treasure. The air in the laboratory grows richer, still with the calming perfume of lavender, a gentle, fragrant blanket settling softly around you. The rhythmic plink of the drops continues, a steady, soothing lullaby of quiet creation. You remain for a moment, simply witnessing the slow, beautiful alchemy unfold, allowing the serene process to quiet your own thoughts, preparing for the gentle rhythm of the afternoon. The lingering, sweet perfume of lavender essence, now a gentle presence in the laboratory, slowly recedes as you turn your attention from the alembic. Your steps lead you to a pristine, white, marble-topped preparation bench, its surface cool and impeccably smooth beneath your fingertips. Here the air holds a different promise, a subtle, intriguing warmth that hints at distant lands and precious cargo. Arranged with meticulous care on the marble are several small, intricately carved wooden boxes and delicate glass jars, each containing a rare and valued ingredient. You reach for a small, dark cedarwood box, its polished surface feeling silken and aged. As you lift the hinged lid, a faint, woody click echoes in the quiet room, releasing the deep, comforting aroma of cloves, mingled with a hint of something citrusy and warm. Inside, the small, dried flower buds are dark and uniform. Their tiny, pointed stems are rich, dark brown. You select a precise number of these, feeling their dry, firm texture between your thumb and forefinger. Next, your hand glides towards a squat, clear glass jar, its stopper a perfectly ground piece of rock crystal. The glass is heavy, cool, and without blemish. With a gentle twist, the stopper lifts with a soft, almost imperceptible squeeze of displaced air, and a rush of warm, sweet cinnamon scent unfurls. Inside, delicate rolled quills of cinnamon bark, a rich reddish brown, lie nestled. You carefully extract a small curled piece, noting its brittle, papery texture and the way it splinters ever so slightly as you break off a fragment. The combined aroma of clove and cinnamon begins to weave a comforting, exotic tapestry in the air. You place the selected spices into a heavy, polished agate mortar, its interior surface a smooth, dark green. The pestle, crafted from the same stone, feels perfectly balanced in your hand. With a slow, deliberate motion, you begin to grind the spices. The initial sound is a gentle, dry scrape as the hard clove buds meet the mortar, followed by a softer, almost whispering crush as the cinnamon bark yields. The rhythmic pressure of the pestle transforms the spices into a fine, fragrant powder, each movement releasing more of their potent, warm scent into the laboratory. The aroma deepens, becoming richer, more complex, as the oils within the spices are gently liberated. Into this fragrant powder, you carefully measure a small amount of clear, distilled rosewater, collected from yesterday's efforts, allowing its delicate floral notes to mingle with the robust spices. You then add a single drop of a rare, viscous ambergris oil, its musky, sweet, and oceanic aroma, a precious component, lending a layer of protective warmth to the draft. The oil is thick, forming a perfect, slow-moving bead before it merges with the other liquids. With a slender, polished glass rod, you begin to stir the mixture. The rod glides smoothly through the liquid, creating a soft, almost inaudible swish-swish against the agate. The liquid slowly transforms into a pale, milky amber, swirling gently with the tiny suspended particles of ground spice. Finally, you reach for a small dark blue glass vial, specifically chosen for its light protective qualities and its elegant, slender form. Its surface is cool and smooth, reflecting the morning light with a deep, subtle sheen. You carefully pour the prepared draught into the vial, the liquid moving with a slow, deliberate grace, its subtle aroma now a harmonious blend of spice, rose, and ambergris. As the last drop settles, you secure the vial with a finely ground glass stopper, pressing it gently into place until it forms a perfect, airtight seal. The quiet thunk of the stopper is a final, satisfying punctuation to the precise work. You hold the finished draft for a moment, feeling its cool weight, a small vessel containing potent protection, ready for its noble recipient. The subtle shift from the contained warmth of the laboratory to the expansive, cool air of the mid-morning riverside terrace is immediate and refreshing. Your steps carry you across the threshold, and the solid, smooth flagstones beneath your slippers absorb the last echoes of the palace interior. A gentle, invigorating breeze, carrying the clean, fresh scent of the river, brushes against your face, a welcome contrast to the spice-laden air you just left. You move towards the low, intricately carved stone balustrade that marks the edge of your private terrace. The pale, weathered stone feels cool and faintly granular beneath your fingertips as you rest your hands upon it, leaning slightly to take in the panorama. The sun, now higher in the sky, bathes the scene in a soft, bright clarity, making the distant buildings along the opposite bank appear with sharper definition. Your gaze extends across the wide, slow-moving expanse of the River Thames. The water, a deep, muted gray-green, catches the sunlight in 1,000 tiny, shifting glints, creating a mesmerizing, almost hypnotic shimmer across its surface. The rhythmic, gentle lapping of the water against the stone embankment below the terrace rises faintly to your ears, a continuous, soothing whisper that forms the backdrop to the city's distant, muffled sounds. You observe the deliberate passage of a heavy barge, laden with timber, making its slow journey upstream. Its large, square sail, patched and weathered, billows gently in the breeze, a muted canvas against the brighter sky. The faint, rhythmic creak of its wooden hull, a low groan, reaches you as it passes, along with the distant, almost imperceptible splash of an oar. The air, though clear, carries the subtle, earthy scent of damp river mud and the faintest hint of wood smoke from the city beyond, a grounding aroma that speaks of daily life. Further out, smaller skiffs dart and weave, their oarsmen moving with practiced, silent strokes, leaving delicate, fleeting ripples on the water's surface. The light plays upon these ripples, momentarily distorting and then releasing the reflections of the sky and the distant rooftops. You notice a solitary heron, standing perfectly still on a mudflat near the far bank. Its long, slender legs, almost invisible, against the muted tones of the riverbed, a picture of quiet patience. The sun warms your cheek, a gentle, comforting touch, and you feel the subtle texture of your wool robes against your skin, a familiar weight. The cool stone of the balustrade beneath your palms remains a steady anchor. The city's distant murmur, a blend of muted voices and carriage wheels, is filtered by the river's expanse, reducing it to a soft, almost imperceptible hum that only enhances the pervasive calm. This quiet moment, suspended between the precise work of the laboratory and the unfolding day, allows for a gentle settling of the mind. You take a slow, deep breath, holding the clean river air for a moment before exhaling softly. The vast, unhurried flow of the Thames continues, a constant presence, inviting a deep sense of tranquil observation. The sun glints on the water one last time, a final, soft sparkle, before you gently push away from the cool stone, ready to let the day unfold with its own measured rhythm. The cool, expansive air of the terrace gives way to the contained warmth of your study once more, a familiar comfort as you step back inside. The Turkish rug softly cushions your steps, absorbing any sound, a gentle contrast to the river's distant murmur. The morning light, now a little brighter, streams across your large oak desk, illuminating the surface where the newly acquired medical manuscript awaits your attention. You approach the desk, your hand gliding over its smooth, worn surface before settling on the manuscript. It is a substantial volume, bound in deep crimson leather, its covers feeling thick and slightly yielding to your touch. The leather, though aged, retains a subtle sheen, hinting at its noble provenance. You carefully open the manuscript, the heavy covers parting with a soft, almost reverent sigh of old material. The pages within are of fine parchment, each sheet a creamy, off-white, its surface smooth yet possessing a delicate, almost imperceptible tooth. A faint, dry scent of ancient paper and the lingering, sweet aroma of dried lavender from earlier in the laboratory now mingle in the air around you. You gently turn the first few pages, the parchment offering a soft, almost whispering rustle as they separate, a sound that speaks of centuries of quiet knowledge held within. Your fingers trace the delicate, hand-drawn illuminations that adorn the margins, intricate patterns of gold leaf and vibrant pigments that catch the light. You select a fresh quill, its feather still possessing a slight natural curve. The tip, meticulously sharpened, is cool and firm in your grasp. You dip it into the small, dark porcelain inkwell, feeling the slight resistance as the quill's tip saturates with the rich, black ink. The ink itself is thick, almost velvety, and its subtle, earthy scent rises as you lift the quill, ready to begin your annotations. Your gaze falls upon a particular passage, describing the properties of a rare herb you have only recently sourced. With careful, precise movements, you begin to add your own observations in the margin. The tip of the quill makes a soft, almost whispered scratch against the parchment as it glides, the sound a delicate counterpoint to the quiet of the room. The ink flows smoothly, a deep liquid black against the creamy vellum, forming elegant, controlled letters. You observe how the ink seems to sink just slightly into the parchment, becoming a permanent part of the page, rather than merely resting on its surface. You pause, allowing your eyes to rest on the intricate script before you, a blend of the ancient hand and your own precise additions. The words, penned centuries ago, now converse quietly with your own thoughts and discoveries. The weight of the manuscript feels substantial in your hands, a physical connection to a lineage of knowledge. The subtle scent of fresh ink, sharp and clean, momentarily overtakes the older aromas. The mid-morning sun continues to brighten the page, illuminating every fine detail of the illustration you are now studying, a depiction of a root system, drawn with such accuracy that you can almost feel the fibrous texture. You mentally compare it to your botanical illustrations from earlier, finding subtle differences in interpretation. This quiet, focused work, blending observation with precise documentation, brings a deep, steady calm. The gentle scratch of your quill resumes, a rhythmic, soothing sound as you continue to add your careful notes, each stroke a deliberate act of engagement. The world outside the study seems to recede, leaving only the quiet interplay of parchment, ink, and thought. The lingering scent of fresh ink and old parchment from your manuscript slowly gives way to a deeper, more complex aroma as you move towards your private herbarium. Your slippers glide almost soundlessly over the cool, dark wood floor, a path well worn from countless quiet visits. The air here is dry and fragrant, a harmonious blend of countless botanical essences, each contributing a subtle note to the overall, calming perfume. You approach the tall, exquisitely crafted cabinet of polished mahogany that dominates one wall. Its rich, dark surface gleams softly in the filtered morning light, reflecting a warm, deep luster. The brass handles, small and perfectly formed, feel cool and smooth beneath your fingertips as you reach for one of the many drawers. With a gentle, deliberate pull, the drawer slides open with an almost imperceptible times of finely fitted wood, revealing its carefully ordered contents. Inside, each compartment is lined with a deep, forest green velvet, its plush surface absorbing all sound and cradling the precious herbs within. The velvet feels soft and dense to the touch, a luxurious cushion for nature's bounty. Your gaze falls upon a bundle of dried chamomile flowers, their delicate, papery petals, a pale cream, still retaining a hint of their sunny disposition. They are tied neatly with a thin linen thread, and a small, elegant label, penned in your own careful hand on fine parchment, identifies them. You lift the chamomile bundle, feeling its surprising lightness, its dry, brittle texture. A faint, sweet, apple-like scent, profoundly calming, rises gently as you handle it. You arrange it within its designated velvet compartment, allowing your fingers to trace the soft edges of the velvet. The dry petals make a soft, almost inaudible crinkle as they settle against the plush fabric, a gentle whisper of stored summer. Next, you select a drawer dedicated to more potent roots. With another soft eshouche, a deeper drawer slides open. Here, the velvet is a richer, darker shade of green, almost black in the shadows. You locate a small, gnarled piece of dried valerian root. Its surface is rough and earthy to the touch, a stark contrast to the delicate chamomile. Its scent, robust and deeply grounding, is immediately noticeable, a powerful, musky aroma that speaks of deep earth and ancient remedies. You carefully lift the valerian, feeling its weight and solid density. The small parchment label, slightly yellowed with age, is still firmly attached, its Latin inscription a testament to its long journey and valuable properties. You turn it over in your palm, observing its intricate fibrous structure, the way the tiny rootlets branch out, holding a subtle hidden strength. As you place it back into its velvet resting place, it settles with a soft, dull thud, absorbed by the cushioning fabric. The act of arranging these precious botanicals, each with its unique texture, scent, and purpose, brings a profound sense of quiet satisfaction. The precise order of the drawers, the meticulous labels, the protective velvet, all contribute to a feeling of calm control and respect for the natural world. The subtle, blended aromas of the herbarium envelop you, creating a tranquil cocoon. You slowly push the last drawer shut, the soft click of its brass handle marking the end of this quiet task, leaving the herbs to their peaceful slumber, awaiting their moment of purpose. Leaving the aromatic calm of the mahogany herb cabinet, you move deeper into your private laboratory, the cool stone floor a familiar constant beneath your slippers. The air here feels subtly different, less verdant, hinting at the mineral treasures awaiting their transformation. Your steps lead you to a heavy, iron-bound chest, its dark metal cool to the touch. With a quiet thud, you lift its lid, revealing small, velvet-lined cavities, each holding a fragment of the earth's rare bounty. You reach for a piece of malachite, its banded greens a striking contrast against the dark velvet. Its surface is cool and surprisingly smooth, yet with a distinct, subtle texture that speaks of its crystalline origins. Nearby, a smaller, intricately carved wooden box holds a sliver of cinnabar, its deep, almost blood-red hue captivating in the soft light. You pick it up, feeling its weight, heavier than its size suggests, its raw, crystalline edges almost sharp. These precious fragments, sourced from distant mines, hold a concentrated power, waiting to be unlocked. You carry these chosen minerals to a different section of the marble-topped bench, where a heavy porphyry mortar rests. Its surface, a deep, mottled purple-red, is incredibly dense and smooth, cool to the touch, and feels utterly unyielding. The accompanying pestle, also of porphyry, is thick and substantial, perfectly weighted in your hand, designed for this specific, demanding task. You carefully place the malachite fragment into the mortar first. The sound it makes, as it settles against the porphyry, is a dull, solid toke-up clink, a resonance of stone on stone. With a slow, steady pressure, you begin to grind. The initial contact of the pestle against the malachite produces a faint, gritty scrape, a dry, whispering friction. You rotate the pestle in a wide, circular motion, feeling the resistance of the hard mineral beneath its weight. Each rotation is deliberate, unhurried, a focused application of slow force. Gradually, the malachite begins to yield, tiny, emerald-green particles flaking away with each pass of the pestle. The sound shifts, becoming a finer, more consistent grind, a low, continuous whisper as the hard fragments are reduced. A faint, almost imperceptible dust, the color of crushed moss, begins to rise, settling softly onto the surrounding porphyry. There is no strong aroma here, only the clean, cool scent of stone, perhaps a hint of the earth from which it was born. Once the malachite is a fine powder, almost like velvet beneath the pestle, you introduce the sliver of cinnabar. Its deep red stands out starkly against the green powder. The grinding resumes, the porphyry pestle, now working to incorporate the new element. The grind is softer now, a steady, rhythmic hush, as the cinnabar quickly breaks down, its vibrant red color slowly spreading, staining the green powder with streaks of deep, rich crimson. The powder becomes finer still, a smooth, uniform texture, almost impalpable to the touch, ready for the next stage of its transformation into a potent elixir. The porphyry mortar now holds a perfectly blended, finely ground powder, a deep, earthy red-green, waiting patiently. You gently tap the pestle against the mortar's rim, dislodging the last clinging particles with a soft, dry tap. The quiet satisfaction of this methodical work settles over you, a sense of deep calm in the precise creation of something truly powerful. Leaving the precise quiet of the laboratory and its lingering mineral scents behind, you step into the soft, welcoming warmth of your bedchamber. The cooler stone of the corridor gives way to the deep, plush pile of the bedside rug, a familiar comfort beneath your slippers. Your gaze is immediately drawn to the hearth, where a low, steady fire casts a shifting, golden glow across the room, painting the rich embroidered hangings with dancing shadows. The gentle, rhythmic crackle of the burning logs is the dominant sound, a soothing presence in the quiet evening air. You move towards the small, polished walnut table beside your bed, its surface reflecting the firelight in soft, blurry patches. On it, a delicate porcelain cup awaits, its pristine white surface almost luminous in the dim light. Beside it rests a small, lidded silver caddy, intricately chased with floral patterns, its cool metal gleaming. You reach for the caddy, your fingers tracing the smooth, cool contours of its lid before lifting it with a faint, almost inaudible snick. Inside, a blend of dried chamomile and a few delicate rose petals, perhaps some of the very ones whose dew was gathered this morning, lie nestled. Their combined aroma, sweet and subtly floral with an underlying earthy note, rises gently, a familiar promise of calm. You carefully pinch a small amount of the dried herbs, feeling their papery, brittle texture between your fingertips, the faint rustle a quiet accompaniment to your actions. These you drop into the porcelain cup, watching the light catch the tiny particles as they settle against the white ceramic. An attendant, moving with quiet grace, approaches with a small, warmed ceramic ewer. The ewer is a deep, muted blue, its surface smooth and slightly warm to your touch as they present it. You take the ewer, feeling its comforting weight, and gently tilt it over the cup. A thin, steady stream of hot water pours forth, creating a soft, continuous jats as it meets the dried herbs. The water, clear and steaming, swirls around the delicate petals and leaves, coaxing forth their essence. The porcelain cup grows warm in your hands, a pleasant heat radiating through the smooth surface. You watch as the chamomile and rose petals slowly unfurl, releasing their colors and fragrances into the steaming water. The liquid transforms from clear to a pale golden amber, a subtle cloudiness appearing as the infusion deepens. The sweet, warm scent now rises more profoundly, filling the air around you with its calming embrace. You take a slow, deep breath, allowing the fragrant steam to warm your senses, a gentle preparation for rest. The quiet crackle of the hearth continues, a steady, comforting rhythm in the soft glow of your bedchamber. You set the warm cup down on the table, its gentle, barely audible against the quiet hum of the room, ready for the evening's tranquil conclusion. The porcelain cup, its surface still radiating a gentle warmth and releasing the calming aroma of chamomile and rose, rests quietly on the walnut table. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the hearth continues its steady song, casting long, dancing shadows that stretch and recede across the embroidered hangings of your bedchamber. The air, now softened by the infusion's perfume, feels utterly tranquil, inviting a slow, unhurried transition towards rest. You reach for the ties of your outer robes, feeling the substantial weight of the fine wool against your shoulders. The fabric, once a protective layer against the day's chill, now feels comfortably heavy. With a slow, deliberate motion, you unfasten the intricate knots, each one yielding with a soft, almost imperceptible thunk as the threads loosen. The heavy fabric begins to loosen, sliding down your arms with a gentle swoosh as it pools around your feet. A subtle warmth held close by the wool escapes into the cooler evening air, leaving your skin feeling refreshed. You stand for a moment, feeling the lighter cotton tunic beneath, the freedom of movement a quiet relief after a day of more formal attire. An attendant, moving with practiced quietude, approaches to gather the discarded robes. Their hands are gentle, the fabric rustling softly as they lift it, carrying it away with a grace that disturbs neither the air nor the silence. You turn towards the tall, dark oak wardrobe, its polished surface reflecting the hearth's glow in blurred amber patches. With a soft click, you open one of its doors, revealing the carefully hung garments within. The faint scent of cedar and clean linen, a quiet, subtle perfume, greets you from the interior. Your fingers find the delicate silk of your nightshirt, a piece of the finest undyed silk, imported from the East. It feels incredibly light, almost weightless, as you lift it from its hanger. The fabric is cool to the touch, a refreshing sensation against your fingertips. The subtle sheen of the silk catches the firelight, shimmering with a quiet, pearlescent glow that seems to absorb the surrounding dimness. You hold it for a moment, feeling its exquisite fineness, its promise of comfort. You slip your arms into the wide, generous sleeves. The silk glides effortlessly over your skin, a smooth, cool caress that follows the contours of your body with remarkable ease. There is almost no sound as the fabric settles, only the faintest, softest whisper as it flows down your frame. The coolness of the silk is immediate, a gentle embrace that soothes and relaxes, dispelling any lingering warmth from the day. It feels like a second skin, incredibly soft and utterly unrestrictive. The hem of the nightshirt brushes lightly against your ankles as you move, a fleeting, tender touch. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the soft expanse of silk against your chest, the ease of movement it allows. The calming scent of the chamomile and rose infusion, still warm, drifts to you from the table, mingling with the subtle, clean aroma of the silk and the distant, earthy notes from the hearth. The bedchamber is now a sanctuary of soft light and gentle sensations, a quiet cocoon. You turn towards your bed, the silk gliding with you, ready to settle into the deep comfort of the night. The soft, cool sensation of your silk nightshirt from the night before has been replaced by the comforting weight of your day robes as you step into a smaller, sunlit workroom. A delicate, sweet scent, subtly familiar, already hangs in the still air, a quiet invitation to the day's tasks. Your slippers make almost no sound on the smooth, cool flagstones that pave this specialized room, a stark contrast to the plush Turkish rug of your study earlier today. You move towards a long, unadorned oak table, its surface worn smooth and dark by countless hours of quiet work, now bathed in the gentle mid-morning light that filters through a high, unadorned window. On its surface, several large, loosely tied bundles of dried chamomile lie, their pale, creamy yellow heads a soft vision, each one a miniature sun, waiting patiently. The air around the table already feels heavier, richer with their subtle, sweet perfume, a gentle, welcoming embrace. You select one bundle, its loosely bound twine feeling coarse and dry against your fingertips. With deliberate slowness, you untie the simple knot, the coarse fibers separating with a soft, almost imperceptible scrape and a faint, dry sigh. The bundle releases, its dried flowers expanding slightly, a silent unfurling of stored energy, a quiet breath. A more concentrated wave of the calming, apple-like aroma rises, enveloping you gently, a comforting blanket of scent that seems to quiet the very air around you. You hold the untied bundle for a moment, feeling its surprising lightness, the brittle rigidity of the thin stems. You gently take a handful of the dried chamomile into your palm. The tiny flower heads are papery and delicate, their petals thin as old parchment, a soft, almost weightless cluster. Their slender stalks remain stiff and dry, like miniature twigs, yet they break with surprising ease. With the utmost care, you begin to separate the delicate flower heads from their woody stems, a precise and patient task. Each flower feels distinct, a miniature sunburst of pale yellow and soft white, a tiny, perfect form. As you roll them between your thumb and forefinger, a faint, dry, crinkle sound emerges, like the whisper of brittle autumn leaves underfoot, a sound that is both subtle and deeply satisfying, a rhythm of gentle transformation. Some of the dried petals, incredibly light and almost ethereal, detach and drift down onto the dark polished oak of the table, creating tiny pale constellations against the rich, deep surface. These small, golden flakes catch the light, shimmering for a moment before settling. A fine, almost invisible dust, soft and impalpable as pollen, adheres to your fingertips, carrying an even more concentrated version of the chamomile's sweet, herbaceous perfume, a scent that speaks of sunny fields and peaceful slumber. You pause for a moment, simply feeling the delicate texture, allowing the soothing scent to deepen around you, a quiet communion with the plant's essence and its journey from field to this quiet workroom. The very tips of your fingers retain a lingering dry warmth from the contact, a subtle imprint of the plant's delicate energy. Beside you, a shallow, wide-mouthed ceramic bowl, glazed in a soft, muted green, waits patiently to receive the sorted flowers. You carefully transfer the separated flower heads from your palm into the bowl. They fall with an incredibly soft, almost soundless patter, a dry, gentle rain of golden petals. The sound is barely there, a whisper against the smooth ceramic as the pile slowly grows, each addition a tiny, quiet contribution to the accumulating mound. The bowl begins to fill with a cloud of pale yellow, a soft, fluffy mound that seems to absorb the surrounding light. You repeat the process, picking up another small cluster of chamomile, feeling the familiar dryness and fragility. The delicate, sweet scent of chamomile still lingers faintly on your fingertips as you move from the workroom into an adjacent, sun-dappled chamber. Here, the air holds a different kind of quiet, a soft, rhythmic hum that immediately draws your attention. Your gaze settles upon the graceful form of a spinning wheel, positioned by a window where the mid-morning light illuminates its intricate wooden frame, highlighting the subtle grain of the aged timber. A servant sits before the wheel, their posture straight and focused, their hands moving with a practiced, almost hypnotic rhythm. The wheel itself is crafted from polished oak, its large, spoked disc, a warm, rich brown, contrasting with the paler, flaxen fibers it transforms. You notice the smooth, dark wood of the foot treadle, worn to a gentle sheen by countless hours of quiet work, moving steadily up and down with a soft, almost silent pressure. Each downward push of the foot is met with an equally gentle release, maintaining a continuous, fluid motion. The dominant sound is the gentle, continuous whirr the wheel, a soft, almost melodic hum that seems to fill the space without truly occupying it, a sound that vibrates just at the edge of hearing. Interspersed with this whir is the faintest, rhythmic choitai, as the spindle catches, a subtle punctuation in the steady flow of sound, like a tiny, perfectly timed metallic whisper. It is a sound of quiet industry, of transformation, deeply calming in its regularity, a gentle backdrop to your thoughts. From a distaff, a tall, slender rod held upright, raw flax fibers, a pale, almost silvery blonde, are carefully draped and drawn out. They look incredibly soft and airy, like spun cloud, light enough to drift on the slightest breath. The servant's fingers, deft and nimble, work with an exquisite precision, their thumbs and forefingers lightly pinching and pulling, twisting and guiding the loose fibers as they are fed onto the rapidly turning spindle. You can almost feel the dry, wispy texture of the raw flax, so different from the smooth, cool silk of your nightshirt from hours ago, or the brittle chamomile you just sorted. The individual strands are almost imperceptible, yet together they hold a quiet promise of strength. As the wheel turns with its steady, unceasing momentum, the loose fibers are gradually stretched and twisted, tightening into a fine, even thread. You watch the delicate strands coalesce, becoming stronger, more cohesive, before winding onto the bobbin with a soft, continuous asterisk ZZZ zip asterisk of friction, a sound barely louder than a breath. The newly spun thread appears a lustrous, creamy white, a testament to the quality of the flax and the skilled, patient hand of the spinner, destined for the soft, clean bandages you will use in your precise remedies. Each layer of thread wraps smoothly around the previous one, building a perfectly cylindrical form. The finished thread, now wound tightly onto the bobbin, looks smooth and uniform, a stark contrast to the rougher twine you handled earlier with the chamomile bundles. You can imagine the cool, fine texture of this thread, how its delicate strength would feel against the skin, both resilient and gentle. The scent of clean, natural linen, subtle and pure, begins to subtly permeate the air, a fresh, almost airy aroma, blending harmoniously with the lingering, comforting notes of chamomile. The light catches the individual strands of the growing thread, making them gleam with a soft, understated glow, a quiet testament to meticulous preparation. The gentle, repetitive whir of the spinning wheel continues its soothing rhythm, a quiet promise of care and comfort. You watch the steady, graceful movements, allowing the peaceful industry to settle your own mind. The gentle, rhythmic whir of the spinning wheel from the adjacent workroom slowly fades behind you, replaced by the deeper, more profound quiet of your private library. Your soft slippers move almost silently over the cool, dark flagstones, a familiar path leading you into this sanctuary of knowledge. The air here is distinct, carrying the subtle, comforting scent of aged leather, dry paper, and polished cedarwood, a fragrance that speaks of centuries of careful preservation. You move towards a section of the library where towering shelves of dark, intricately carved oak reach towards the high, vaulted ceiling. The mid-morning light, diffused by the tall, narrow windows, falls in soft rectangular pools across the polished floor and the spines of the countless volumes. You locate the ancient Roman medical text, its presence a quiet anchor in this vast collection. Its binding is of dark, almost black leather, worn smooth in places by the passage of time and the touch of many hands, yet still firm and substantial. With a measured breath, you reach for the volume. The leather feels cool and dry beneath your fingertips, its surface subtly textured with the fine lines of age. You lift it carefully from the shelf, feeling its considerable weight, a testament to the thick parchment within. You carry it to a heavy, dark oak reading stand, positioned to catch the best of the morning light, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster. As you settle the book upon the stand, the leather cover makes a soft, almost imperceptible thud against the polished wood. You gently open the manuscript. The thick, creamy vellum pages part with a faint, dry rustle, a whisper of ancient knowledge stirring. Your gaze falls upon the elegant script, lines of meticulously hand-penned Latin, each letter a work of art in itself. The ink, a deep, rich sepia, has softened over the centuries, but remains remarkably clear against the pale vellum. You lean closer, allowing your eyes to trace the delicate curves and flourishes of the calligraphy, admiring the steady hand that formed each precise stroke. With the tip of your forefinger, you carefully follow a line of text. The vellum feels incredibly smooth, almost silken, yet with a subtle, dry texture that offers just enough resistance to your touch. You move your fingers slowly, deliberately, over the characters, feeling the faint, raised impression of the ink, a ghost of the scribe's efforts. The quiet of the library deepens around you, punctuated only by the soft, almost imperceptible sound of your own careful breathing and the distant, muffled calls of palace life, which seem to fade into the background. You pause at a particularly intricate initial, illuminated with a delicate leaf pattern in faded gold and muted green. Your finger traces the cool, smooth surface of the vellum around the design, appreciating the artistry. The light catches the faint shimmer of the gold, a gentle, understated sparkle. This quiet communion with the ancient text, the simple act of tracing each elegant letter, brings a profound sense of calm and connection to the minds that came before. The subtle aroma of old paper and leather fills your senses, a grounding presence in the hushed space. The weight of the open book on the reading stand feels solid and comforting, a steady presence. You continue your slow, silent reading, allowing the elegant flow of the script to guide your thoughts. The air in the library remains still, holding the quiet reverence of centuries of study, inviting a deep and tranquil absorption, a peaceful drift into the wisdom of the past. The ancient Roman medical text, its elegant calligraphy now a familiar comfort, is gently closed. You carefully lift the heavy volume from the reading stand, feeling the cool, aged leather beneath your palms, its surface subtly textured from centuries of handling. With a soft, almost reverent slide, you return it to its designated place on the dark oak shelf. The hushed quiet of your private library deepens around you, carrying the subtle, grounding scent of old paper and polished wood, a fragrance unique to this sanctuary of knowledge. You move towards your large, dark oak desk, its surface worn smooth by countless hours of quiet work, now bathed in the soft, diffused light of mid-morning. On its cool, expansive top rests your daily ledger, a substantial book bound in rich, dark brown leather, its spine reinforced with sturdy brass. You settle into your high-backed chair, its cushioned seat offering a gentle, familiar give and reach for the ledger. The leather cover feels firm and cool, subtly textured from years of careful use, a reassuring weight in your hands. With a deliberate motion, you open it to the current day's entry. The thick, creamy pages, made from the finest rag paper, turn with a soft, dry rustle, a quiet whisper of accumulated records, each sheet a testament to diligent documentation. Your gaze falls upon the small porcelain inkwell, its dark, glossy surface reflecting the diffused light from the window in soft, indistinct blurs. The silver lid, intricately etched with a delicate Tudor rose pattern, feels cool and smooth as you lift it with a faint, precise nick, revealing the deep, liquid black of the ink within. You select a fresh quill from the ornate silver stand, its feathers still possessing a slight, natural curve, the tip meticulously sharpened to a fine point. It feels light, yet perfectly balanced in your hand, a familiar extension of your purpose. You dip the quill into the ink, allowing the tip to absorb the rich, dark liquid with a soft, almost silent sip, the ink clinging to the barbs with a subtle, wet sheen. The faint metallic tang of the ink, mingled with the earthy scent of the old paper, rises gently, a clean, sharp aroma. With a steady hand, you bring the quill to the empty line on the page, pausing for a brief moment, your breath slow and even, before making the first stroke. The tip touches the fine paper with an almost imperceptible pressure. Then, with a slow, deliberate motion, you begin to record the day's significant preparations, the precise collection of morning dew, the careful distillation of lavender essence, the methodical grinding of rare minerals. The quill makes a soft, rhythmic scratch, 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 scratch as it glides across the page, a delicate, consistent sound that seems to fill the quiet library, a gentle counterpoint to the distant, muffled sounds of palace life. Each letter is formed with careful precision, the dark, rich ink flowing smoothly, leaving a crisp, permanent mark on the creamy paper. You observe the slight indentation the quill makes, a subtle testament to the physical act of writing, a tangible connection between thought and record. You continue to write, the gentle scratching a soothing rhythm, until the entry for the day is complete, each detail captured with unwavering accuracy. The lines of your elegant script, neat and uniform, fill the designated space, a quiet chronicle of your daily pursuits. You pause, allowing your eyes to drift over the freshly inked words, noting the subtle sheen of the drying ink, a dark, rich contrast against the pale paper. The air around you, still imbued with the scent of old books and fresh ink, feels calm and settled. The distant sounds of the palace, once faint, now seem almost entirely absorbed by the quiet focus of your task, leaving only the soft, ambient stillness of the library, a cocoon of concentrated thought. The soft, rhythmic scratching of your quill against the ledger has ceased, leaving the quiet hum of your private library to settle once more. You gently close the heavy leather-bound book, its brass clasps clicking softly into place, a subtle punctuation to the morning's records. The air, still carrying the faint scent of old paper and ink, now invites a transition to a different kind of precision. You move from the dark oak desk towards a smaller, more specialized cabinet in the corner of your laboratory, its surface of polished ebony gleaming with a deep, almost liquid luster in the soft mid-morning light. This is where your most delicate instruments reside. The cool, smooth wood of the cabinet feels rich and solid beneath your fingertips as you reach for one of its small, silver filigreed handles. With a gentle, deliberate pull, the drawer slides open with an exquisite, almost silent shush, revealing a velvet-lined interior. Within the drawer, nestled in individual depressions, lies your collection of silver-handled instruments. Each piece, crafted with meticulous detail, is a testament to both artistry and utility. You select a small, slender spatula, its handle a twisted rope of polished silver, cool and smooth to the touch, feeling perfectly balanced in your hand. The spatula blade itself, made of tempered steel, appears slightly dulled by use, its surface lacking the vibrant gleam it should possess. A faint, almost imperceptible metallic scent rises from the instruments, a clean, subtle aroma. You retrieve a small, tightly woven linen cloth from a nearby drawer, its fine weave feeling soft yet firm between your fingers. It has been freshly laundered and carries the faint, clean scent of pure water and sun-dried air. Beside it, a tiny lidded porcelain pot holds a special polishing powder, a fine, almost impalpable white dust. You carefully open the pot, its lid lifting with a soft, dry pop, revealing the delicate powder within. With the very tip of your finger, you take a minute amount, feeling its silky texture, and transfer it to a corner of the linen cloth. You begin to polish the silver handle of the spatula. Your thumb and forefinger, wrapped in the soft linen, move in small, slow, circular motions along the twisted pattern of the silver. The initial contact of the cloth against the dull metal produces a subtle, almost whispering scrape, a gentle friction that feels satisfyingly precise. You can feel the slight resistance of the silver as you work, the minuscule imperfections on its surface slowly yielding to the gentle abrasion of the powder and cloth. The sound is barely audible, a constant, soft shush-shush as the cloth glides over the metal, a rhythm of quiet restoration. As you continue, the dullness gradually recedes, replaced by a subtle, gathering sheen. The silver begins to reflect the light more brightly, first in soft, diffused glimmers, then in sharper, clearer streaks. The intricate details of the twisted rope pattern emerge with renewed clarity, each curve and ridge catching the light with a delicate sparkle. The metal grows warmer under your persistent, gentle touch, radiating a faint, pleasant heat. You pause, turning the spatula slowly in your hand, observing the transformation, the gleaming handle a testament to careful maintenance. You then move to the steel blade, carefully wiping away any residue with a fresh, clean section of the linen, ensuring its surface is pristine and unblemished. The steel, now clean, has a cool, almost surgical gleam. The entire instrument feels lighter, almost invigorated in your hand. You place the polished spatula back into its velvet-lined depression with a soft, almost imperceptible swoosh, its gleaming silver now perfectly reflecting the soft light of the laboratory. The quiet satisfaction of this meticulous care settles over you, a steady, calm presence in the afternoon's gentle rhythm. The cool, gleaming surfaces of your polished silver instruments are now carefully returned to their velvet-lined drawer, sealed within the ebony cabinet of your laboratory. The faint, metallic scent, once sharp, now gently dissipates into the quiet air. As you turn from the meticulous order of your tools, the lingering aromas of dried herbs and subtle minerals begin to recede, replaced by the more general, ambient breath of the palace itself. You step from the laboratory, the cool, smooth flagstones beneath your slippers, giving way to the worn, uneven stone of the palace corridor. The light here is already softening, the mid-afternoon sun beginning its slow descent, casting long, diluted shadows along the ancient walls. Ahead, the distant murmur of court life, a low, continuous hum of voices, the faint clatter of a dropped tray, and the soft, rhythmic thud of distant footsteps still drifts faintly from the grander halls. It is a soundscape of activity, usually a constant presence, but tonight you sense its quiet withdrawal. As you walk, your robes, the fine wool a familiar weight, brush softly against your legs with a gentle shoosh-shoosh. The corridor walls, made of rough-hewn stone, feel cool and textured if you were to brush a hand against them, a stark contrast to the polished surfaces of your workrooms. The air here holds the scent of old stone, damp earth, and a faint, sweet aroma of beeswax from polished woodwork, a grounding, ancient perfume unique to the palace's inner passages. Each step is deliberate, unhurried, a quiet progression towards the sanctuary of your study. You approach the heavy oak door of your private study, its dark wood deeply polished, gleaming with a rich, almost liquid luster in the fading light. The intricate carvings around its frame depicting stylized acorns and oak leaves appear softened by the dimming illumination, their details becoming more subtle. You reach for the heavy, wrought iron handle, its cool, smooth metal, feeling solid and substantial beneath your palm. The iron has a slight, earthy scent, mingled with the faint, sweet perfume of the beeswax used to polish the wood. With a slow, deliberate motion, you pull the door gently inwards. The heavy oak swings smoothly on its robust iron hinges, making a low, resonant groan that is quickly absorbed by the thick wood and the surrounding silence. As the gap narrows, the distant murmur of court life begins to noticeably recede, the voices becoming fainter, the footsteps more muted, the faint clatter now almost entirely swallowed. The world beyond your study, with its gentle bustle and soft echoes, seems to draw back, allowing a deeper quiet to expand within your immediate space. The final closure of the door is a careful, precise act. You guide the heavy wood until it meets the doorframe with a soft, perfectly contained thunk, a sound of satisfying finality. The latch then engages with a distinct, gentle click, sealing the room. The transition is complete. The last vestiges of the palace's distant sounds are now thoroughly muffled, reduced to an almost imperceptible whisper, a mere memory beyond the thick oak. Inside your study, the air is instantly stiller, warmer, imbued with the familiar, comforting scent of aged parchment, dried herbs, and polished cedarwood. The fading light from the window, now even more subdued, casts long, soft shadows across the Turkish rug, deepening the sense of peaceful enclosure. You stand for a moment, enveloped in this profound quietude, feeling the subtle shift in the atmosphere, a gentle exhalation after a day of measured purpose. The study is now a private world, ready for the evening's tranquil contemplation. The thick oak door of your study, now firmly latched, leaves the distant palace murmur to fade completely, replaced by the profound, enveloping quiet of the evening. Your soft slippers carry you through a short, hushed passage, the air growing noticeably warmer as you approach your bedchamber. The familiar, subtle scent of beeswax and smoldering wick gently greets you, a comforting prelude to the room's soft illumination. You step across the threshold into your chamber, where the ambient light is no longer the filtered daylight of your study, but a warm, intimate glow. Several beeswax candles, tall and slender, stand in polished brass holders on various surfaces, a small bedside table, a carved chest, and a mantelpiece above a cool, unlit hearth. Their flames, small and steady, cast soft, dancing shadows that stretch and sway across the rich, embroidered hangings on the walls, making the familiar patterns seem to subtly breathe with a quiet, internal life. The air, though warm, feels still and undisturbed, holding the delicate, sweet aroma of the burning beeswax. You move towards the largest candle, set upon the bedside table. Its flame, a tiny, vibrant spear of golden light, flickers with an almost imperceptible tremor, causing the shadows to shift with exquisite slowness. You watch the small pool of molten wax at its base, a clear, luminous liquid holding the light, its surface smooth and reflective, mirroring the tiny flame above. The wax itself, a pale, creamy yellow, slowly recedes, leaving a subtle, warm scent that mixes with the clean, deep aroma of the polished walnut of the table. Your fingertips brush lightly against the cool, smooth brass of the candle holder, feeling the slight weight of the metal, a small anchor in the soft, enveloping light. A faint, deep sound, almost a vibration rather than a distinct noise, begins to penetrate the stillness. It is the distant chimes of St. Paul's, muffled by the palace walls and the intervening city, yet undeniably present. The sound is low, a soft, resonant bong, followed by another and another. Each chime is drawn out, its deep tone echoing softly, then slowly decaying, dissolving into the quiet air before the next one begins. The rhythm is unhurried, ponderous, a gentle marking of the passing hour, a steady, calm pulse in the heart of the city. You listen, allowing the deep, soothing vibrations to wash over you, feeling the sound, more than truly hearing it, a subtle tremor in the very air of your chamber. The sound feels ancient, a connection to countless other quiet evenings. The chimes continue their slow count, each one a deep, soft sigh that seems to settle the air further. You stand by the window, not looking out at the darkened city, but simply resting your hand against the cool, leaded glass, feeling the subtle chill against your palm. The embroidered velvet curtains, drawn across the window earlier, have been carefully arranged by an attendant, allowing only the faintest, most diffused glow from the outside world to penetrate, preserving the intimate, candlelit warmth within. The fabric, thick and soft, absorbs any stray sound, deepening the room's tranquility. As the final chime fades, leaving only the soft, almost imperceptible crackle of the candles and the gentle warmth of their light, a profound sense of stillness settles. The air in the chamber, still perfumed by beeswax, feels comforting and utterly serene. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the soft texture of your fine wool robes against your skin, a familiar and reassuring weight. The day's precise work and the outside world now feel distant, retreating beyond the thick walls and the gentle glow of the candlelight, leaving only this quiet moment of peaceful awareness, a slow, gentle drift towards the coming night. The last deep resonance of St. Paul's chimes slowly dissolves into the candlelit quiet of your chamber, leaving only the soft crackle of beeswax wicks. You settle onto the cushioned window seat, the cool velvet of its fabric, a familiar comfort beneath your robes, absorbing your weight with a gentle, plush give. The leaded glass of the window, still cool against your back, offers only the faintest, diffused glimmer of the city's distant, softened glow through the drawn, heavy velvet curtains. The air, enriched by the sweet, clean scent of burning beeswax, feels utterly still and deeply serene. An attendant, a quiet presence moving with barely a whisper, approaches the window seat. In their hands, carefully placed on a small, dark linen cloth, rests a smooth, river-worn stone, warmed to a perfect, gentle heat. The stone, a deep, mottled gray, radiates a soft, inviting warmth that you can feel even before it touches you, a subtle warmth against the cooler air of the room. There is no sound as the attendant extends their hands, only the visual offering of the stone and the gentle grace of their movement. You accept the stone, feeling its substantial weight settle into your open palms. The polished surface, worn smooth by centuries of river flow, is incredibly soft against your skin, almost silken, yet firm and unyielding. The profound, even warmth it radiates immediately begins to seep into your chilled palms, a slow, deep penetration that feels both comforting and utterly relaxing. You close your fingers gently around the stone, feeling its contours, allowing the heat to spread gradually through the sensitive skin of your hands, up your wrists, and into your forearms. The warmth is not intense, but a steady, pervasive glow, like a miniature, contained hearth within your grasp. You bring the stone closer, feeling the delicate warmth against your cheek, a soft, soothing touch. The subtle, earthy scent of heated stone, clean and elemental, rises faintly, mingling with the sweet beeswax and a lingering, almost imperceptible hint of dried lavender from your earlier distillations. You turn the stone slowly, feeling its warmth transfer from one part of your hand to another, each subtle shift a new wave of comfort. The candlelight dances on its smooth surface, creating tiny, shifting highlights that seem to emanate from within the stone itself, a quiet, internal glow. Your gaze drifts towards the window, beyond the heavy curtains. The world outside is a canvas of deep, velvety darkness, punctuated by only the most distant, muted pinpricks of light, perhaps from a watchman's lantern or a solitary dwelling. The faint, almost inaudible hum of the city, now truly at rest, seems to have retreated further still, a soft, indistinct whisper that is easily absorbed by the thick walls and the profound quiet of your chamber. You lean back against the cool velvet of the seat, the contrast of the chilled fabric against the warmth in your hands, creating a delicate balance of sensations. The smooth, heated stone feels like a small, precious anchor, drawing all your scattered thoughts into its comforting embrace. The slow, steady warmth continues to emanate from the stone, a gentle, unwavering presence in your hands. The soft crackle of the beeswax candles provides the only sound, a delicate, rhythmic pulse in the serene chamber. You feel your muscles begin to relax, the tension of the day slowly melting away with each wave of warmth, leaving only a profound sense of peace and a quiet readiness for deep, restorative sleep. The last, deep resonance of St. Paul's chimes has long dissolved, leaving only the profound, enveloping quiet of the evening. The gentle warmth of the heated stone has slowly receded from your hands, its comforting purpose fulfilled. Now, guided by the soft, steady glow of a single beeswax taper, you find yourself in a quieter corner of your private laboratory, where a different, more delicate alchemy unfolds in the hushed, still air. The cool, smooth flagstones beneath your slippers absorb any sound, a grounding presence in the deepening night. You approach the delicate glass alembic, its intricate, transparent form gleaming softly in the low, steady light. Unlike the burnished, solid copper of your larger stills, this one is crafted entirely from clear, flawless Venetian glass, allowing an unbroken view into its gentle internal process. The glass feels cool and perfectly smooth to the touch, its pristine surface reflecting the taper's flame in a single, unwavering point of light. The slender neck of the alembic curves with elegant precision, rising from the round flask below and leading gracefully to a small, perfectly spherical receiver that rests nestled beneath, all components joined with seamless, almost invisible craftsmanship. The integrity of the glass, its remarkable clarity, speaks of a master artisan's touch, designed for the most precious and volatile essences. Your gaze traces the inner surface of the alembic's upper dome, where tiny, almost invisible beads of pure liquid have begun to gather. These minute droplets, born of the rising ethereal vapor, cling momentarily to the cool, smooth glass, shimmering faintly, each a minuscule lens catching and refracting the taper's soft glow. They seem to swell, slowly, patiently, drawing moisture from the subtle, fragrant steam that rises from the warmed botanical matter held within the flask below. The air around the glass feels slightly humid, carrying only the faintest, purest whisper of the plant's essence, a scent so subtle it is almost a memory. Then, with a gentle, almost imperceptible release, one such droplet grows large enough to detach from its clinging companions. It begins its exquisite, unhurried journey, sliding with a deliberate slowness down the curved inner wall of the glass, gathering other minuscule beads in its path, growing ever so slightly larger. It glides along a perfect, predetermined trajectory until it reaches the very tip of the alembic's slender spout. There it hangs, a perfect, translucent sphere, suspended for a brief, fleeting moment, before detaching entirely and falling. The sound it makes, as it lands in the awaiting crystal receiver below, is a delicate, precise plink, a soft, almost musical punctuation in the profound stillness of the room. The single clear sound echoes briefly, a tiny, resonant chime that seems to vibrate in the very air before being slowly, completely swallowed by the pervasive quiet. You listen, allowing the subtle echo to fade entirely, your breath slow and even, before anticipating the next, perfectly timed descent. The receiver itself, a piece of finely cut crystal, reflects the taper's light in fractured dancing patterns, making the accumulating liquid within appear to shimmer with an inner life. Another drop forms, following the exact same unhurried path, a perfect, glistening twin to the last. It gathers, slides, pauses with silent grace, and then falls, producing another soft tilla plink that is almost identical in its delicate clarity to the first. The rhythm is not rushed, but a slow, steady pulse, a gentle, hypnotic cadence that seems to measure the passage of time itself. Each drop, perfectly formed, adds to the slowly accumulating pool of clear, pure essence in the crystal receiver. The collected liquid, a transparent, almost ethereal sheen, slowly, imperceptibly rises, a quiet testament to the patient alchemy unfolding, a distillation of calm. The steady, rhythmic plink of condensation from the glass alembic now slowly fades into the deep quiet of the laboratory, leaving only the profound stillness of the night. The clear, pure essence continues its gentle accumulation, a quiet testament to patient alchemy. You turn from this delicate process, guided by the soft, unwavering glow of your beeswax taper, towards the window in your private chamber, where a different, more grounding aroma begins to subtly unfurl. You approach the window, the cool, smooth flagstones of the laboratory giving way to the plush, silent Turkish rug of your bedchamber. The heavy velvet curtains, drawn earlier, have been carefully parted by an attendant, allowing a narrow view of the outside night. On the exterior ledge, secured with elegant iron brackets, rests your window box herb garden, its dark terracotta surface now almost invisible in the deep gloom. The air here, though contained by the chamber, carries a distinct, refreshing coolness, a subtle breath from the outside world. You gently lean closer to the window, placing a hand against the cool leaded glass. The faint chill seeps into your palm, a refreshing contrast to the ambient warmth of the chamber. Through the glass, you can discern the soft, dark outlines of the herbs in the window box, the rounded mounds of rosemary, the delicate fronds of parsley, and the more sprawling presence of mint. They appear as indistinct, velvety shadows against the deeper black of the night sky, their forms softened by the low light. A subtle scent begins to rise, distinct from the beeswax and distilled essences of your work. It is the clean, earthy aroma of damp soil, mingled with the fresh, green fragrance of living plants. You can almost feel the cool, moist texture of the earth beneath your fingers, the delicate give of the peat and loam. The air, though still, carries this grounding perfume with an exquisite gentleness, a quiet breath of nature brought close. You take a slow, deep breath, allowing the earthy, green notes to fill your senses, a profoundly natural and calming presence in the quiet night. You imagine the tiny droplets of dew, invisible in the darkness, clinging to the tips of the herb leaves, mirroring the condensation you observed in the alembic. But here, on a living, breathing canvas, the soft rustle of a single leaf, disturbed by an imperceptible night breeze, reaches your ears as a delicate, almost inaudible whisper, a fleeting sound that quickly dissolves back into the pervasive silence of the night. The coolness of the glass against your hand remains, a steady, unyielding anchor, while the subtle, fresh aroma of the herbs fills your personal space, a private garden of scent. Your gaze drifts over the indistinct shapes, allowing your eyes to soften, blurring the edges of the plants until they become a gentle, textured expanse of dark green and shadow. The very act of observing these growing things, even in the dimness, brings a deep sense of connection and quiet renewal. The subtle scent of damp earth and growing things from the window box herb garden continues to envelop you, a natural, grounding perfume. You remain for a moment, simply absorbing the quiet presence of your small garden, feeling the profound stillness of the night. The gentle coolness from the window, combined with the subtle, fresh scents, creates a tranquil cocoon, a quiet moment of connection to the natural world. The chamber remains soft and still, inviting a deeper sense of peace, a quiet readiness for the tranquil unfolding of the night, as the world outside prepares for a gentle slumber. The subtle earthy scent of damp earth and growing things from your window box herb garden now gently recedes, leaving only the profound, enveloping stillness of the deep night. The cool, leaded glass, against which your hand rested moments ago, now releases its faint chill as you slowly draw back from the window. The chamber, illuminated only by the soft, unwavering glow of a single beeswax taper, feels utterly hushed, its air thick with a pervasive tranquility. Your slippers, soft and silent, carry you from the window seat, the plush velvet fabric releasing your weight with a gentle, almost imperceptible sigh. Your bare feet then meet the polished oak floorboards, the wood feeling cool and smooth beneath your soles, a familiar and grounding sensation in the dimness. Each plank, worn to a soft sheen by generations of quiet footsteps, feels solid and ancient, absorbing any potential sound. The air, still carrying the faint, sweet aroma of beeswax, feels undisturbed, a gentle blanket around you. Your gaze is drawn downward, towards the intricate patterns of filtered moonlight dancing across the polished oak floorboards. A pale silvery light diffused by the leaded panes of the window, and the distant, unseen clouds streams into the chamber. It forms delicate, shifting shapes on the dark wood, like lace woven from pure light. The patterns are not sharp or stark, but soft-edged and ethereal, their boundaries subtly blurred, giving them an almost liquid quality. You watch as they gently expand and contract, a slow, silent respiration of light, an exquisite, unhurried dance of illumination and shadow. You take a slow, deliberate step, your foot falling within one of these silvery pools. The wood beneath your sole feels slightly cooler where the moonlight touches it, a faint, almost imperceptible difference in temperature that you notice with quiet awareness. The polished surface of the oak gleams with a deep, rich luster, reflecting the pale light upwards, creating a subtle, secondary glow that seems to emanate from the floor itself. The intricate grain of the wood, usually a muted texture, now appears softened and elongated by the moonlight, its patterns flowing like silent rivers of light. You lower yourself slowly, carefully, onto the plush Turkish rug that lies near the center of the room, its deep pile absorbing your weight with a gentle, cushioned give. From this closer vantage, the moonlight patterns appear even more intricate, revealing tiny, almost invisible dust motes suspended in the still air, caught in the pale beams. These minuscule particles, usually unseen, now drift lazily, sparkling with fleeting, diamond-like glints as they traverse the illuminated pathways. Their movement is so slow, so unhurried, that it seems to exist outside the normal flow of time, a quiet ballet of light and dust. The only sound is the almost imperceptible crackle of the beeswax taper, a delicate rhythmic whisper that punctuates the profound quiet of the chamber. The air, still and cool, holds the delicate sweet scent of the beeswax, a subtle perfume that blends harmoniously with the ancient aroma of polished wood. You watch the silvery light continue its slow, silent dance across the oak, a hypnotic, ever-changing tableau of stillness and gentle movement. You trace the edge of a particularly luminous moonbeam with your finger, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the oak beneath your touch. The light itself feels cool, almost tangible, against your skin. The quiet observation of these intricate patterns, Their subtle shifts and gentle gleam brings a deep sense of calm, allowing your thoughts to slow and soften like the dancing light itself. The chamber settles deeper into its nocturnal embrace, a sanctuary of soft light and profound quiet, inviting a peaceful drift into the tranquil depths of the night. The intricate patterns of filtered moonlight continue their slow, silent dance across your polished oak floorboards, their silvery glow now even softer, more diffused in the profound quiet of the deep night. The beeswax taper, its flame a steady, unwavering point of light, casts long, gentle shadows that stretch and recede with an exquisite slowness. The cool, leaded glass of the window against which you rested moments ago now recedes from your awareness as you turn, drawn by a different, more tactile presence in the hushed chamber. Your soft slippers carry you towards a small, low table crafted from dark, aged cedarwood, its surface smooth and cool beneath your fingertips as you approach. On it rests a small, unassuming pouch, made of finely woven, unbleached linen, its natural fibers a pale, muted cream against the darker wood. This pouch holds the small, smooth river stones collected from your morning walk, their presence a quiet, grounding memory of the river's edge. The air here, still carrying the delicate, sweet aroma of beeswax, now mingles with a faint, clean scent of mineral and damp earth, a subtle breath of the outside world brought indoors. You reach for the linen pouch, feeling the soft, pliable fabric between your fingers. The natural weave of the linen is cool and slightly textured, yet yielding. With a slow, deliberate motion, you untie the simple drawstring, the fine twine parting with a soft, almost imperceptible swoosh, a gentle friction of fiber against fiber. As the opening widens, a faint, cool breath of air, carrying the subtle, clean scent of river stone, escapes from within the pouch. You gently tip the pouch, allowing a few of the small, smooth river stones to roll out onto the polished cedarwood table. They emerge with an incredibly soft, dry Sunner's Twane, a sound so delicate it seems to be absorbed almost immediately by the plush Turkish rug nearby. Each stone is unique, a miniature testament to the river's patient work. One is a flattened oval of deep, mottled gray, its surface incredibly smooth, almost silken to the touch, yet with a faint, almost invisible texture that speaks of its ancient origins. Another is a pale, almost white pebble, slightly elongated, its surface cool and remarkably unblemished, like a tiny sculpture. A third, darker, almost black, possesses a subtle, almost imperceptible sheen, reflecting the candlelight in a single, soft point. You pick up the gray oval, feeling its cool, satisfying weight settle into the hollow of your palm. The stone feels dense and solid, a miniature anchor. Your thumb traces its smooth, cool curve, following the subtle, darker bands that stripe its surface. The contact is profoundly calming, a direct connection to the quiet power of the earth. You then place it carefully onto the dark cedarwood, arranging it with a precise, unhurried motion. It meets the wood with a soft, dull thud, a sound of gentle finality, settling perfectly into its chosen spot. You repeat the action with the other stones, each one offering a subtly different tactile sensation, a unique coolness, a distinct weight. The pale white stone, when placed, makes an even softer tap, almost a whisper against the wood. The darker stone, with its faint gleam, settles with a solid, reassuring thud. You arrange them in a small, artful cluster, a miniature landscape of natural forms, allowing their muted colors to interact with the soft, shifting moonlight that falls upon the table's surface. The pale light illuminates their edges, highlighting the subtle variations in their tones, making them appear almost luminous against the dark wood. The air in the chamber remains still, holding the delicate scent of beeswax and the faint, clean aroma of the stones. The quiet, focused act of arranging these simple, smooth forms brings a deep sense of order and calm, allowing your thoughts to slow and quiet, like the unhurried flow of the river itself. The profound quiet of your bedchamber, where moonlight patterns had danced on the oak, now yields to the crisp, cool air of early morning. Your soft slippers carry you through a series of hushed passages, away from the familiar scent of beeswax, towards a deeper, more complex aroma that hints at distant shores and vibrant markets. You step across the threshold into your private storeroom, a robust chamber of thick stone walls and heavy oak beams, where the dim, filtered light of dawn already promises a day of meticulous organization. The air here is immediately different, thicker with a dry, pungent perfume of wood, canvas, and a myriad of unknown exotic scents. Your gaze falls upon several sturdy wooden crates, recently delivered, their rough-hewn surfaces still bearing the faint salt tang of the sea voyage. They rest upon a low, wide oak table, its surface worn smooth by countless hours of quiet work, their presence a silent testament to distant journeys and careful transport. You trace the coarse grain of one crate with your fingertips, feeling the sturdy, unpolished wood, a stark contrast to the refined surfaces of your study. With a deliberate motion, you reach for a small iron pry bar, its cool, heavy weight familiar in your hand, the polished grip smooth from years of use. The faint clink, as its forged tip engages with the stubborn head of a nail, is soft, quickly absorbed by the thick stone walls. A slow, steady pressure applied with careful leverage, and then a soft, resonant two-hue note begins to emanate from the strained wood as the lid starts to yield. A single, thin splinter of wood, pale and dry, detaches with a tiny, almost inaudible snap, falling silently onto the table. As the wooden lid slowly lifts, rising with an unhurried grace, it releases a concentrated wave of warm, spicy air. The aroma is rich, earthy, and immediately captivating, a heady blend of potent pepper and something subtly sweet, like sun-baked earth after a summer rain, a scent that speaks of journeys across vast oceans. Beneath the lid, packed in layers of protective, undyed canvas, are small, tightly bound sacks, their forms plump and promising. You carefully untie the coarse twine of one particular sack, feeling the rough, dry fibers part with a faint scrape, a gentle release of tension. As the fabric opens, a small dark cascade of peppercorns spills with a soft, dry rustle into a waiting, smoothly polished wooden scoop. They are tiny, perfectly spherical, their surfaces a deep, almost iridescent black, cool and smooth to the touch, yet possessing a subtle, granular texture. A sharp, pungent aroma, distinct from the broader, sweeter scent of the room, rises immediately, a clean, invigorating spice that tingles faintly in the air. You let a few roll between your thumb and forefinger, feeling their hard, dry resistance, hearing the delicate clatter as they tumble, one against another, into the curved bowl of the scoop. The sound is light, precise, a quiet rain of tiny, aromatic spheres. From another tightly bound sack you carefully extract a handful of nutmeg, their forms distinct from the peppercorns. These are larger, irregular ovals, A warm, muted brown, their surfaces intricately patterned with fine, swirling lines, like miniature, ancient maps. They feel solid and surprisingly light, their texture dry and subtly rough, almost woody beneath your fingertips. A sweet, warm, almost nutty aroma, distinctly different from the sharp clarity of the pepper, rises as you hold them. A comforting, rich perfume that suggests distant tropical forests. You rub one gently between your palms, feeling the faint, dry friction, the subtle whisper of its surface, releasing a deeper, more intoxicating burst of its characteristic fragrance, a profound sweetness that lingers in the air. You place the nutmeg into a small, lidded cedarwood jar, its dark wood smooth and cool, ready for storage. The rich, pungent aromas of the newly catalogued East Indian spices slowly recede as you close the heavy storeroom door, stepping into the hushed, more familiar air of your private dwelling. Your soft slippers, cushioned and silent, carry you from the cool, robust flagstones of the storeroom onto the gleaming, dark oak floorboards of the main passage. The transition is immediate, a subtle shift in temperature and texture, from the earthy, dry air of the stored spices to the more refined, ambient breath of your personal quarters. As your weight settles onto the first plank, a soft, almost imperceptible creak emerges from the ancient wood beneath your sole. It is a familiar sound, a gentle sigh from the very structure of the house, a quiet acknowledgement of your passage. You take another deliberate step, and another, each movement eliciting a similar, subtle creak, a rhythmic, unhurried cadence that accompanies your journey through the deepening evening. The oak feels smooth and cool, worn to a gentle sheen by generations of quiet footsteps, its intricate grain visible even in the dimming light. You move through a narrow, high-ceilinged corridor, its walls paneled in dark, polished cedarwood. Your fingertips brush lightly against the cool, smooth surface of the wood as you pass, feeling the faint, subtle texture of the grain. The air here carries the clean, comforting scent of beeswax and aged timber, a familiar perfume that speaks of careful maintenance and enduring elegance. From a distant, unseen part of the palace, a faint, muffled clatter, perhaps a dropped utensil or a quietly closed door, reaches your ears, quickly absorbed by the thick walls and the pervasive quiet, dissolving into an almost imperceptible whisper. Ahead, a tall, arched window offers a glimpse of the outside world, now softened by the twilight. The leaded glass panes, cool to the touch, frame a scene of deep, velvety darkness, punctuated by only the most distant, muted pinpricks of light. You pause for a moment, resting your hand against the cool, unyielding stone of the window frame, feeling its substantial weight. The silence here is profound, broken only by the soft, almost rhythmic creak of the floorboards as you shift your weight, a gentle, living sound that resonates deeply in the stillness. The air, though contained, feels fresh, carrying a faint, clean breath from the outside, mingling with the internal aromas. You continue your quiet journey, your steps slow and measured, each one a deliberate placement. The soft creak of the floorboards becomes a gentle, hypnotic accompaniment, a quiet song of the house settling into the evening. You notice the subtle variations in the sound. Some planks offer a deeper, more resonant groan, while others produce a lighter, almost musical squeak. This symphony of wood and weight is deeply calming, a steady rhythm that anchors your thoughts and slows your breath. The faint, sweet scent of polished wood deepens around you, a comforting embrace. The dim light casts long, dancing shadows that stretch and recede across the floor, making the familiar passage feel both intimate and expansive. You observe the subtle play of light and shadow, how the indistinct shapes seem to shift and sway with an exquisite slowness, mirroring the unhurried pace of your own movement. The deep, rich color of the oak, now softened by the fading light, appears almost liquid, absorbing the shadows and reflecting the faint glows. You feel the gentle texture of your robes, the fine wool a familiar weight, brushing softly against your legs with a faint shush-shush. The air in the dwelling remains still, holding the quiet reverence of the evening, a profound sense of peace. The soft creak of the floorboards continues, a steady, unwavering rhythm that gently guides you through the hushed passages, inviting a deeper sense of calm and a quiet readiness for the tranquil unfolding of the night. The soft, rhythmic creak of the floorboards, a quiet symphony of your private dwelling, slowly fades behind you as you step across the threshold into your private laboratory. The gleaming dark oak gives way to the cool, unyielding stone flagstones, a familiar grounding presence beneath your slippers. The air here, in the early morning light, still holds a faint, complex memory of dried herbs, subtle minerals, and the lingering warm spice notes from yesterday's cataloging, now softened and diffused into a gentle ambient perfume. Your gaze settles upon the heavy brass mortar and its accompanying pestle, resting on the smooth, white marble-topped preparation bench. They are substantial pieces, crafted from a deep, burnished brass that, though well used, still possesses a quiet dignity. In the soft, diffused light filtering through the high window, their surfaces appear slightly muted, a fine film of residue from yesterday's grinding dulling their inherent luster. The marble beneath them feels impeccably cool and solid to the touch, a stark, pristine contrast to the warmer, more organic textures you've encountered. You reach for the mortar first, feeling its considerable weight as you lift it. The cool brass is smooth, yet with a faint, almost imperceptible texture that speaks of its cast form. It leaves a subtle, clean metallic scent on your fingertips. You place it back down with a soft, dull thud against the marble, a sound of solid presence. Next, you select a square of the finest, unbleached linen cloth from a nearby drawer. Its weave is remarkably tight, yet the fabric feels incredibly soft and pliable against your skin, a whisper of clean fibers. It carries the faint, fresh scent of pure water and dried air, a subtle aroma of immaculate cleanliness. From a small, lidded porcelain jar, you carefully take a minute amount of polishing paste, its texture a fine, almost impalpable powder, cool and slightly gritty between your thumb and forefinger. You apply this delicate powder to a corner of the linen cloth with exquisite care, watching how the white particles adhere to the pale fabric. The air around you, though still, seems to hold its breath in anticipation of the quiet ritual. You begin with the mortar, wrapping a section of the soft linen around your hand, the polishing paste a barely there presence. Your fingers move in small, slow, circular motions along the outer curve of the brass. The initial contact of the cloth against the metal produces a subtle, almost whispering scrape-scrape, a gentle, rhythmic friction that is deeply soothing in its repetition. You feel the fine resistance of the brass, the minuscule imperfections on its surface, slowly yielding to the patient abrasion. As you continue, the dullness gradually recedes, replaced by a subtle, gathering sheen. The surface begins to reflect the soft light, first in diffused blurs, then in clearer, warmer streaks of gold, a quiet, growing luminescence. The brass warms slightly under your persistent, gentle touch, radiating a faint, pleasant heat. You turn the mortar slowly, allowing your hands to cover its entire surface, ensuring every curve and crevice is met with the same meticulous attention. The delicate shush-shush of the cloth against the metal continues, a steady, calming cadence that fills the quiet laboratory. The subtle metallic scent, now mingled with a clean, almost mineral aroma from the paste, becomes more defined, yet never overwhelming. You can see your own reflection begin to emerge, distorted and soft, in the gleaming brass. Next, you take up the heavy brass pestle. Its substantial weight feels balanced in your hand, its rounded end, smooth and cool. You apply the linen cloth, still holding a faint residue of the polishing paste, and begin the same slow, circular motions. The sound is an identical, soft, shush-shush, a rhythmic whisper as the cloth glides over the brass. The gleaming, freshly polished brass mortar and pestle now rest in quiet dignity on the cool marble bench, their surfaces radiating a soft, golden warmth. You turn from their restored luster, leaving the subtle, clean metallic scent of the laboratory behind, and step into the quieter, more intimate air of your private study. The familiar Turkish rug, deep and plush, absorbs your slippers' soft tread, cushioning each step as the evening light deepens its shadows. You approach your large, dark oak desk, its surface worn smooth by countless hours of quiet work. Here the room is bathed in a soft, welcoming glow, distinct from the fading daylight outside. 2 beeswax candles, tall and slender, stand in polished brass holders on the desk, their flames already burning with a steady, gentle intensity. They cast a warm, golden light that dances and shifts across the rich, dark wood, illuminating the intricate grain of the oak in soft, blurry patterns. The air, already imbued with the comforting scent of aged parchment and polished cedarwood, now holds a delicate, sweet perfume of burning beeswax, a subtle, almost ethereal aroma that promises tranquility. You settle into your high-backed chair, its cushioned seat offering a gentle, familiar give, and your gaze falls upon the nearest candle. Its flame, a tiny, vibrant spear of pure golden light, flickers with an exquisite slowness, an almost imperceptible tremor that causes the surrounding shadows to sway with a graceful, unhurried rhythm. You watch the small, perfectly circular pool of molten wax at its base, a clear, luminous liquid that holds the light within its shallow depths. The surface of this liquid wax is incredibly smooth, almost like polished glass, mirroring the tiny flame above in a distorted, shimmering reflection. The wax itself, a pale creamy yellow, slowly recedes as it burns, leaving a subtle, clean scent that deepens the existing perfume of the room. Your fingertips brush lightly against the cool, smooth brass of the candle holder, feeling the slight weight of the metal, a grounding presence in the soft, enveloping light. The brass, polished earlier in the day, gleams with a deep, subtle luster, reflecting the golden flame in a soft, diffused halo. The only sound is the almost imperceptible crackle of the beeswax wick, a delicate, rhythmic whisper that punctuates the profound quiet of the study. It is a sound so soft, so consistent, that it seems to blend seamlessly with the very stillness of the air, a gentle, continuous punctuation in the profound silence. You lean slightly closer, allowing the gentle warmth from the candle flame to caress your cheek. The heat is subtle, soft, a delicate touch that feels comforting and utterly benign. You can feel the faint, rising current of warm air, carrying with it the pure, sweet aroma of the beeswax, a scent that seems to cleanse and calm the senses. The flame itself, though small, possesses a mesmerizing quality. Its unwavering dance, a silent invitation to contemplation. The light catches the subtle dust motes suspended in the air, transforming them into tiny, fleeting sparkles as they drift lazily through the illuminated space. A quiet ballet of light and particulate. The air in the study, now thick with the sweet, clean perfume of beeswax, feels utterly still and deeply serene. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the wicks continues its gentle song, a steady, unwavering presence in the quiet room. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the warmth against your skin and the delicate scent to deepen, feeling the profound calm that this simple, ancient light inspires. The study, wrapped in its golden glow, becomes a sanctuary of soft sensations, a quiet cocoon that gently settles your thoughts, inviting a deeper sense of peace as the night unfolds. The soft, sweet scent of beeswax from the flickering candles on your desk now gently recedes, leaving the profound quiet of your study to deepen with the approaching dawn. You turn from the last glowing taper, its flame now extinguished with a soft puff of smoke, and your slippers carry you across the plush Turkish rug, away from the quiet order of your books and instruments. The cool, polished oak floorboards, familiar beneath your soles, mark your path towards a small, sunlit antechamber, where a different, more delicate task awaits. You step into the antechamber, a smaller, brighter space with tall, narrow windows that already capture the soft, nascent light of early morning. The air here is clean and fresh, carrying only the faintest lingering hint of yesterday's beeswax, now mingling with a new subtle aroma of dried leaves and sun-warmed earth. On a small, round table crafted from pale, polished cherry wood, rests a shallow, intricately carved wooden bowl, its surface smooth and cool beneath your fingertips as you approach. Within the bowl, a loose collection of dried wildflowers, gathered from your country estate weeks ago, lies waiting. Their muted colors, faded blues, soft yellows, and delicate purples, appear softened in the gentle morning light, a quiet memory of summer fields. You reach for a small, dried sprig of lavender, its slender stem feeling brittle and dry between your thumb and forefinger. The tiny flower heads, now a muted gray-purple, release a delicate, herbaceous scent as you handle them, a familiar, calming aroma that speaks of sun-drenched hillsides. You observe its natural curve, imagining its place within a larger arrangement. With a deliberate slowness, you begin to select individual stems, each one a miniature testament to the fleeting beauty of the season. The dry leaves make a soft, almost inaudible crinkle as you carefully separate them, a gentle whisper of dried botanicals. Next, your fingers find a few dried poppy heads, their spherical forms small and perfectly round, a pale creamy beige. They feel surprisingly light, almost hollow, yet firm and dry to the touch. The faint, earthy scent of their dried seeds, a subtle, grounding aroma, rises as you gently roll one between your palms. You can hear the faintest, almost imperceptible rattle of the tiny seeds within, a soft, dry whisper that quickly fades. These, with their delicate, slender stems, offer a different texture and form to the arrangement. You hold them for a moment, appreciating their elegant simplicity. their quiet promise of rest. You begin to arrange the wildflowers in the small, carved wooden bowl. Each stem is placed with a precise, unhurried motion, allowing its natural curve to guide its position. The delicate, papery petals of a dried cornflower, a faded azure, brush softly against the more robust texture of a dried yarrowhead. Its flat, disc-like form, a muted cream. The sound is an incredibly soft, dry swoosh as the dried stems meet, a delicate friction that is barely audible, yet profoundly calming. You build the bouquet slowly, patiently, allowing the muted colors and varied textures to create a harmonious whole, a quiet symphony of dried forms. The air in the antechamber becomes richer with the blended aromas of the dried wildflowers, the sweet lavender, the earthy poppy, and the subtle, peppery notes of yarrow. It is a scent that evokes quiet walks through sun-drenched fields, a gentle memory of summer's bounty. The morning light, growing steadily brighter, illuminates the delicate textures of the dried petals and leaves, highlighting their intricate, fragile beauty. You pause, holding a single dried daisy head, its tiny white petals still perfectly formed, a miniature sun in your palm. Its dry, papery texture is exquisitely delicate. You gently place the last daisy into the arrangement, its soft, dry tap against the other stems barely breaking the profound quiet. The small, exquisite bouquet of dried wildflowers now rests in quiet harmony within its carved wooden bowl, a gentle memory of summer fields. The antechamber, still holding the delicate mingled scents of lavender and yarrow, is bathed in the soft, diffused light of early morning. You turn from this quiet arrangement, your slippers making almost no sound on the cool, polished oak floor as you move towards the tall, arched window that overlooks a secluded section of the palace gardens. You approach the window, the cool, leaded glass feeling smooth and solid beneath your fingertips as you rest your hand upon the frame. The heavy velvet curtains, drawn back earlier, frame a view of towering oak and ancient elm trees, their branches reaching towards the pale, luminous sky. The leaves, a deep, muted green, appear softened in the gentle light, their intricate forms blurred into a gentle, textured expanse. The air here, though contained by the chamber, carries a distinct, refreshing coolness, a subtle breath from the outside world, mingled with the faint, earthy scent of damp soil. A soft, almost imperceptible sound begins to rise, a low, continuous sigh that seems to emanate from the very heart of the trees. It is the gentle movement of the wind, weaving its way through the dense canopy of leaves, a quiet breath that rustles and stirs the branches with an exquisite slowness. The sound is not sharp or forceful, but a soft, pervasive whisper, a continuous that seems to flow and ebb with an unhurried grace, like the slow, steady rhythm of the tide. You listen, allowing the subtle, ambient sound to wash over you, feeling its calming presence in the still air of your chamber. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the soft sigh of the wind to fill your senses, blurring the edges of your thoughts. You can almost feel the gentle pressure of the air against the leaves, the subtle friction of branch against branch, creating that delicate, rhythmic rustle. The sound feels ancient, a timeless song of nature, a profound connection to the world beyond the palace walls. The air, cool and fresh, carries a faint, clean scent of damp bark and green leaves, a grounding aroma that deepens the sense of peace. As you open your eyes, you observe the subtle movement of the topmost branches, swaying with an almost imperceptible grace against the brightening sky. The light catches the individual leaves, making them shimmer with a soft silver-green gleam as they turn and flex in the gentle breeze. The shadows they cast on the ground below, long and fluid, dance with an exquisite slowness, a silent choreography of light and shade. The sound of the wind through the tall palace trees continues, a steady, unwavering presence, a constant lullaby that seems to settle the very air around you. The coolness of the glass against your hand remains, a steady, unyielding anchor, while the subtle, fresh aroma of the trees fills your personal space, a private garden of scent. You lean slightly closer, allowing your breath to synchronize with the slow, rhythmic sigh of the wind, feeling a deep sense of quietude settle within you. The chamber remains soft and still, a sanctuary of gentle sound and profound peace, inviting a deeper, more tranquil descent into the unfolding day. The world outside, with its tall trees and soft breezes, seems to hold its breath with you, preparing for a gentle slumber. The profound quiet of your bedchamber, where the subtle scent of damp earth and growing things had lingered from the window box, now yields to the crisp, cool breath of early morning. Your soft slippers carry you from the plush quiet of your sleeping quarters, through hushed passages, towards the familiar, purposeful air of your private laboratory. The gleaming, dark oak floorboards give way to the cool, unyielding stone flagstones, a familiar grounding presence beneath your soles. The ambient light, diffused by the high, arched windows, now illuminates the room with a soft, even clarity. Your gaze settles upon a robust, dark ceramic pot, resting on a low, steady iron tripod over a very low, almost imperceptible flame. This is where a long simmering herbal decoction has been quietly working through the night. The ceramic itself, a deep, earthy brown, feels warm to the touch as you lay a hand lightly upon its side, radiating a gentle, pervasive heat that permeates the air around it. The subtle aroma of the decoction, a complex blend of deep, woody herbs and a faint, sweet earthiness, rises gently, a grounding perfume that speaks of patient extraction. You lean closer, observing the surface of the dark liquid within the pot. It is a rich, opaque brown, almost black in the dim light, its surface barely disturbed. Then, with exquisite slowness, a single, tiny bubble forms deep within the liquid, rising with an unhurried grace. It expands slightly as it ascends, a delicate, ephemeral sphere, catching a fleeting glimmer of light as it nears the surface. With a soft, almost imperceptible plop, it breaks, releasing a minuscule puff of aromatic steam that dissolves instantly into the air. This is the steady, almost imperceptible bubbling of the long simmering herbal decoction, a quiet, rhythmic pulse that is barely audible, yet profoundly present. Another bubble forms, following its silent, unhurried path upwards, a perfect, glistening sphere that reflects the soft light for a brief moment before gently breaking. The sound is an identical, soft plop, a delicate, resonant whisper that seems to be absorbed almost immediately by the thick ceramic and the still air of the laboratory. The rhythm is slow, unhurried, a gentle, hypnotic cadence that seems to measure the passage of time itself, a profoundly calming and repetitive sequence. Each bubble, perfectly formed, adds its infinitesimal contribution to the subtle steam that rises from the decoction, carrying the concentrated essence of the herbs. The air around the ceramic pot feels slightly humid, imbued with the deep, earthy scent of the simmering herbs, a profound, grounding aroma that settles around you like a warm, fragrant blanket. You watch the surface of the liquid, observing the subtle, almost imperceptible currents created by the rising bubbles, a slow, gentle dance of heat and liquid. The light, soft and diffused, catches the wisps of steam as they curl upwards, delicate and ephemeral, before vanishing into the ambient air, carrying the subtle, complex perfume of the decoction. The warmth radiating from the pot is constant, a steady, comforting presence that permeates the space. Your gaze drifts upwards, tracing the path of the rising vapor towards the lid of the pot, crafted from the same dark ceramic. Tiny, almost invisible beads of condensation have gathered on its underside, glistening faintly in the soft light. These minute droplets, born of the rising steam, cling momentarily to the cool, smooth ceramic, shimmering delicately. Then, with a gentle, almost imperceptible release, one such droplet grows large enough to detach. It begins its exquisite, unhurried journey, sliding with a deliberate slowness down the curved inner wall of the lid, gathering other minuscule beads in its path, growing ever so slightly larger. It glides along a perfect, predetermined trajectory until it reaches the very edge of the lid, where it hangs for a brief, fleeting moment. The steady, almost imperceptible bubbling of the long-simmering herbal decoction now gently recedes into the profound quiet of the laboratory. The ceramic pot, its surface still radiating a subtle warmth, is left to its patient work as you turn from its quiet alchemy. Your soft slippers carry you from the cool, unyielding flagstones through a short, hushed passage towards the deeper, more intimate quiet of your private study. The air here, in the deepening evening, holds the familiar, comforting scent of aged parchment and polished cedarwood, a gentle invitation to rest. You step into the study, the plush Turkish rug absorbing your weight with a soft, cushioned give, and your gaze is immediately drawn to the single beeswax taper that stands on your large, dark oak desk. Its flame, a tiny, vibrant spear of golden light, flickers with an exquisite slowness, an almost imperceptible tremor that causes the surrounding shadows to sway with a graceful, unhurried rhythm. The desk's surface, worn smooth by countless hours of quiet work, reflects the light in soft, blurry patches, illuminating the intricate grain of the oak in dancing patterns. The air, already imbued with the comforting scent of the wood and parchment, now holds a delicate, sweet perfume of burning beeswax, the subtle, almost ethereal aroma that settles around you like a warm, fragrant blanket. You settle into your high-backed chair, its cushioned seat offering a gentle, familiar give, and your eyes fix upon the dancing shadows. These are not stark or sharp, but soft-edged and fluid, cast by the single flickering taper onto the rich embroidered hangings that adorn the walls. The shadows stretch and recede with an exquisite slowness, their forms constantly shifting, expanding, and contracting in a silent, hypnotic choreography. A tall, slender shadow, perhaps cast by the quill stand, lengthens dramatically, then slowly shrinks, only to sway gently from side to side, mimicking an unseen breeze. The patterns are never quite the same, a continuous, unhurried transformation of light and darkness. The only sound is the almost imperceptible crackle of the beeswax wick, a delicate rhythmic whisper that punctuates the profound quiet of the study. It is a sound so soft, so consistent, that it seems to blend seamlessly with the very stillness of the air, a gentle, continuous pulse in the deep silence. You listen, allowing the subtle sound to wash over you, feeling its calming presence in the still air of your chamber. The gentle warmth from the candle flame, though distant, radiates a subtle, comforting heat that you can almost feel against your cheek. Your gaze follows a particularly large shadow, cast by an ornate cabinet, as it slowly expands to fill a corner of the room, its intricate carvings momentarily softened and then sharpened by the shifting light. The movement is so slow, so unhurried, that it seems to exist outside the normal flow of time, a quiet ballet of light and shade. You watch as small ephemeral pockets of darkness appear and disappear within the larger shadows, like tiny, silent breaths. The patterns are deeply mesmerizing, drawing your attention without demanding it, allowing your mind to quiet and soften. The air in the study, now thick with the sweet, clean perfume of beeswax, feels utterly still and deeply serene. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the wick continues its gentle song, a steady, unwavering presence in the quiet room. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the warmth against your skin and the delicate scent to deepen, feeling the profound calm that this simple, ancient light inspires. The study, wrapped in its golden glow and the slow dance of shadows, becomes a sanctuary of soft sensations, a quiet cocoon that gently settles your thoughts, inviting a deeper sense of peace as the night unfolds and the world outside prepares for a gentle slumber. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the beeswax taper has long faded, leaving your study in profound, enveloping quiet. The gentle dance of shadows on the embroidered hangings has ceased its slow sway, as the last candle has been quietly extinguished by an attendant. Now, in the deep stillness of the night, you step from the warm, familiar air of your study through a cool, hushed passage and out into the crisp, cool air of your private herb garden. Your slippers make almost no sound on the fine gravel path, each stone offering a subtle, quiet crunch beneath your weight as you move. The air here is immediately different, cool and profoundly fresh, carrying a complex, invigorating perfume of damp earth, night-blooming jasmine, and the subtle, peppery notes of rosemary. It is a scent that awakens the senses, yet simultaneously soothes, a grounding presence in the hushed night. The moon, high and full, casts a soft, silvery light across the garden, transforming the familiar shapes of the herb beds into ethereal, almost luminous forms. You follow the winding path, your gaze tracing the delicate patterns of moonlight on the dark, damp earth. The gravel feels cool and slightly yielding beneath your slippers, each step a soft, almost imperceptible shush. Ahead, the low, rounded mounds of lavender, usually a vibrant purple, now appear as soft, silvery gray forms, their delicate flower spikes shimmering faintly in the moonlight. You reach out, your fingertips brushing lightly against the dry, papery texture of a lavender head, feeling the subtle coolness of the night air on its surface. A faint, sweet, herbaceous scent, more concentrated in the cool air, rises from your touch. You continue your tranquil walk, the path leading you past a bed of sprawling mint, its broad leaves, usually a deep green, now appearing as dark, velvety shadows. A gentle night breeze, almost imperceptible, rustles through the leaves with an incredibly soft, almost inaudible whisper, a delicate friction of leaf against leaf. The air here is sharper, infused with the clean, invigorating aroma of mint, a cool, refreshing breath that tingles faintly in your nostrils. You bend slightly, allowing your fingers to brush lightly over the cool, smooth surface of a mint leaf, feeling its subtle texture and the faint, cool moisture that clings to its underside. The scent of crushed mint, sharp and clean, now mingles with the sweeter notes of jasmine and the earth. The moonlight, a soft, pervasive glow, illuminates the intricate patterns of the garden, highlighting the delicate structures of the plants. The dew, invisible in the darkness, clings to the tips of the leaves, catching the moon's light in tiny, glistening pinpricks, like scattered diamonds on a velvet cloth. You pause by a cluster of rosemary, its needle-like leaves, usually a deep, resinous green, now appearing as dark, almost black silhouettes against the silvery moonlight. You pluck a single sprig, feeling its firm, slightly oily texture between your fingers. A pungent, invigorating, almost camphor-like aroma, distinct from the other herbs, rises immediately. A clean, woody scent that clears the mind. The gravel path continues its gentle curve, leading you deeper into the quiet heart of the garden. The air remains cool and profoundly fragrant, a harmonious blend of all the growing things, each contributing a subtle note to the evening's perfume. The only sounds are the soft crunch of gravel beneath your slippers, and the occasional, almost imperceptible whisper of a leaf in the gentle night breeze. This tranquil walk, a quiet communion with the sleeping garden, brings a deep sense of peace and a profound connection to the natural world. You reach the furthest edge of the garden, where a low stone bench, cool and smooth beneath your hand, offers a moment of rest. You sit, allowing the coolness of the stone to seep through your robes, a grounding presence. The cool, smooth stone of the bench, a grounding presence beneath you in the moonlit herb garden, now holds your weight with a familiar, unyielding comfort. The faint, earthy scent of damp soil, mingled with the subtle, sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine and the sharper notes of rosemary, still lingers in the crisp, cool air around you, a delicate blend of nocturnal fragrances. As you rest, your attention, unhurried and open, begins to discern a new sound, incredibly subtle and distant, gently penetrating the profound stillness of the night. It is the faint, rhythmic hull of the River Thames, a sound so soft it seems to be woven into the very fabric of the night, a whisper from beyond the palace walls. You lean slightly forward, allowing your senses to reach out, discerning the delicate, continuous murmur of water against unseen banks, a gentle, liquid, that rises and falls with an unhurried grace, a steady, quiet breath. Each small wave, invisible in the deep darkness, meets the stone and mud of the distant shore with a soft, almost imperceptible splash, a delicate, fleeting punctuation in the pervasive quiet. The sound travels across the expansive palace grounds, through the ancient, thick stone walls and the dense, sleeping foliage of the inner gardens, reaching you as a filtered, muted lullaby, a distant, steady pulse of the vast river, a calming rhythm that seems to slow the very air around you. Your fingertips trace the cool, smooth surface of the stone bench beneath you, feeling its unyielding ancient texture, a tangible anchor in the intangible flow of sound. The moon, high and full, continues to cast its silvery light across the garden, illuminating the delicate, dewy forms of the sleeping herbs, making them appear as ethereal, almost luminous shadows against the deeper, velvety black of the night sky. The very tips of the herb leaves, kissed by the night's moisture, glimmer with tiny, almost imperceptible points of reflected light, like scattered diamonds. The air, cool and profoundly fresh against your skin, carries the subtle scent of damp bark from the distant palace trees, a grounding aroma that mingles effortlessly with the faint, clean breath of the river, a quiet symphony of nocturnal fragrances that deepens with each passing moment. You close your eyes for a long moment, allowing the faint, rhythmic lapping to deepen its presence in your awareness, becoming the sole focus of your senses. Without the distraction of sight, the sound of the river becomes more vivid, a continuous, soothing pulse that seems to synchronize with your own slow, steady breath, drawing you deeper inward. You imagine the dark, unhurried flow of the river, its wide surface gleaming with scattered moonbeams, carrying its ancient wisdom and the quiet secrets of the sleeping city through the heart of London. The cool air brushes against your cheek, a gentle, refreshing touch that feels like a soft caress, a subtle reminder of the vastness of the night sky above and the gentle, unceasing movement of the world. The sound is persistent, yet utterly undemanding, a gentle, hypnotic rhythm that invites a profound sense of calm, a quiet surrender. Each delicate, tall, and soft splash seems to smooth away any lingering thoughts, drawing your mind deeper into a state of quiet contemplation, a peaceful, unburdened awareness. The weight of your robes, the fine wool of familiar comfort, settles around you, a soft, enveloping embrace in the cool night air. The moonlit garden, with its fragrant herbs and silent, shifting shapes, feels like a private sanctuary, perfectly held within the gentle, distant embrace of the river's timeless song. You feel a deep, pervasive sense of peace, a quiet connection to the enduring rhythms of the natural world, a profound tranquility that settles into your very core. The cool, fragrant air of the moonlit herb garden and the gentle, distant lapping of the Thames now slowly recede behind you. Your soft slippers carry you from the crisp, open air, through a hushed, stone-lined passage, and into the profound, enveloping warmth of your bedchamber. The familiar plush rug, deep and yielding, absorbs your weight with a gentle sigh, a soft transition from the cool flagstones. The air here is immediately different, imbued with a subtle, comforting scent of lingering wood smoke and warm beeswax, a profound invitation to rest. Your gaze is drawn to the hearth, where a low, steady fire had burned earlier in the evening. Now, only the soft glow of embers remains, nestled deep within the dark, sooty maw of the fireplace. They pulse with a slow, rhythmic intensity, tiny, incandescent hearts of orange and deep red, casting a warm, sleepy light that dances and shifts across the rough-hewn stone of the hearth and the dark, polished oak of the mantelpiece above. The shadows they cast are long and fluid, stretching and contracting with an exquisite slowness, painting the rich, embroidered hangings on the walls with a quiet, breathing darkness. The air around the hearth feels noticeably warmer, a gentle, pervasive heat that permeates the chamber, a stark and welcome contrast to the cool night air of the garden. You settle into the deep, cushioned armchair positioned near the hearth, its velvet fabric, a rich, muted green, soft and welcoming beneath your robes. The chair creaks faintly as it takes your weight, a low, gentle sound that quickly dissolves into the pervasive quiet. You lean back, allowing your gaze to soften, blurring the edges of the room until only the mesmerizing glow of the embers remains. Each ember is a miniature landscape of fading heat, its surface a network of delicate, glowing cracks, constantly, imperceptibly changing. A faint, almost inaudible hiss sometimes emerges from the depths of the embers, a soft exhalation of residual heat, quickly fading into the silence. A subtle, earthy aroma of smoldering wood, ancient and grounding, rises gently from the hearth, mingling with the sweet, clean scent of beeswax from the single taper burning on the bedside table. This blend of perfumes, warm and comforting, deepens the sense of peace in the chamber. You reach out, your fingertips brushing lightly against the cool, smooth stone of the hearth's edge, feeling the contrast of its unyielding surface against the radiating warmth from within. The stone itself holds the faint, clean scent of ancient rock, a subtle, mineral tang that speaks of permanence. You watch as a particularly bright ember, a vibrant point of orange, slowly, gracefully, fades, its brilliance dimming with an exquisite slowness, gradually receding into a deeper, duller red, before finally becoming a dark, indistinguishable lump of ash. The transformation is quiet, unhurried, a gentle dissolution of light into darkness, mirroring the slow descent into slumber. Another ember, nearby, brightens almost imperceptibly, as if drawing strength from its fading neighbor, a delicate, internal pulse of light and heat. The soft glow of the embers continues its slow, sleepy dance, painting the room in shades of amber and shadow. The only sound is the occasional, faint core hiss asterisk from the settling wood within the hearth, barely audible, yet profoundly present, a gentle, rhythmic punctuation in the serene quiet. You feel your muscles begin to relax, the warmth from the hearth permeating your robes, a deep, pervasive comfort that settles into your very core. The chamber, wrapped in this soft, golden light and profound stillness, feels like a sanctuary, inviting a tranquil and restorative sleep. The soft glow of the embers in your hearth slowly deepens, casting a warm, sleepy light that paints your bedchamber in muted amber and shadow. The subtle, earthy scent of smoldering wood, mingled with the sweet beeswax from the single taper, gently permeates the air. You rise from the cushioned armchair, the velvet fabric releasing your weight with a soft, almost imperceptible sigh, and move towards your large, dark oak desk. The plush, Turkish rug, soft beneath your slippers, absorbs any sound, deepening the pervasive quiet. On the desk, bathed in the soft, unwavering glow of a single beeswax taper, rests a freshly copied botanical drawing. It is a work of quiet precision, rendered on a sheet of fine, creamy vellum, its surface smooth and almost silken to the touch. The drawing depicts a single specimen of valerian root, its intricate network of fibrous roots and delicate, bell-shaped flowers rendered with exquisite detail in fine, dark ink. The air here, in the intimate light of the taper, holds the faint, clean scent of fresh ink, mingled with the familiar aroma of aged parchment and polished cedarwood, a subtle perfume that speaks of quiet study and meticulous artistry. You lean closer, allowing your eyes to trace the simple, elegant lines of the drawing. Each stroke of the pen is visible, a testament to the steady hand that created it. You observe the delicate cross-hatching that gives texture to the root, conveying its gnarled, earthy form with remarkable clarity. The tiny bell-shaped flowers, clustered at the top of the slender stem, are drawn with a light, airy touch, their forms conveying a subtle fragility. The dark, rich ink, a deep sepia, stands out crisply against the creamy vellum, its lines sharp and clean. You can almost feel the dry, papery texture of the vellum beneath your fingertips, a subtle resistance to the light touch of your gaze. Your fingers trace the outline of a particularly delicate rootlet, following its subtle curve and intricate branching. The vellum feels cool and smooth, yet with a faint, almost imperceptible tooth that gives it character. The quiet of the study deepens around you, punctuated only by the soft, almost imperceptible crackle of the beeswax wick, a delicate, rhythmic whisper that seems to blend seamlessly with the very stillness of the air. The gentle warmth from the candle flame, though distant, radiates a subtle, comforting heat that you can almost feel against your cheek. The subtle scent of fresh ink, sharp and clean, rises faintly, a testament to the drawing's recent completion. You notice the delicate shading on the underside of a leaf, a series of fine parallel lines that create a subtle depth and dimension, making the leaf appear to gently curl and unfurl. The light from the taper catches these lines, highlighting their precision, making them shimmer with a soft, almost ethereal gleam. The entire drawing, though simple in its execution, conveys a profound sense of the plant's quiet strength and delicate beauty, a silent testament to nature's intricate design. The valerian, a powerful herb, is rendered here with a gentle reverence, its medicinal properties hinted at through the careful depiction of its form. The air in the study, now thick with the sweet, clean perfume of beeswax and the faint, crisp scent of fresh ink, feels utterly still and deeply serene. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the wick continues its gentle song, a steady, unwavering presence in the quiet room. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the warmth against your skin and the delicate scent to deepen, feeling the profound calm that this simple ancient light inspires. The study, wrapped in its golden glow and the quiet beauty of the botanical drawing, becomes a sanctuary of soft sensations, a quiet cocoon that gently settles your thoughts, inviting a deeper sense of peace as the night unfolds and the world outside prepares for a gentle slumber. The faint, crisp scent of fresh ink from the botanical drawing, now carefully laid aside on your desk, slowly dissipates into the profound quiet of your study. You rise from your high-backed chair, the cushioned seat releasing your weight with a soft, almost imperceptible sigh, and move from the familiar comfort of the Turkish rug. Your soft slippers carry you over the cool, polished oak floorboards, each plank a smooth, dark expanse beneath your soles, absorbing any sound, deepening the pervasive stillness of the late evening. You transition from your study through a short, hushed passage towards a more private antechamber adjacent to your sleeping quarters. The air here feels cooler, imbued with the subtle, clean aroma of beeswax from a single taper that burns steadily on a small, dark oak table. Its flame, a tiny, unwavering point of golden light, casts long, gentle shadows that stretch and sway across the rich, embroidered hangings on the walls, making the familiar patterns seem to subtly breathe with a quiet, internal life. The room is a sanctuary of soft light and profound quiet, a gentle invitation to rest. As you settle onto a low, deeply cushioned window seat, its velvet fabric, a rich, muted blue, gives softly beneath your weight. The cool, leaded glass of the window, though covered by heavy drawn curtains, feels solid and unyielding against your back, a subtle anchor. The air, still and undisturbed, holds the delicate, sweet perfume of the burning beeswax, a comforting presence. Then, incredibly faint and distant, a sound begins to emerge from the deep quiet. It is a delicate, plucked note, a soft, resonant thrum that seems to float through the thick palace walls, carried on the still evening air. It is the distinct, gentle sound of a lute, playing a slow, unhurried air from the royal apartments, far away in another wing of the vast palace. Each note is muted, softened by distance and intervening stone, yet undeniably present, a subtle, almost ethereal whisper of melody that seems to rise and fall with an exquisite slowness. You lean slightly, allowing your senses to reach out, discerning the delicate, individual strings of the lute. Each note, though faint, has a pure round quality, resonating briefly before slowly, gracefully decaying into the profound quiet, only to be followed by another, equally unhurried, equally soft. The rhythm is slow, deliberate, a gentle, hypnotic cadence that seems to measure the passage of time itself, a profoundly calming and repetitive sequence. The music itself is a simple, melancholic air, its melody unfolding with an unhurried grace, a quiet story told in plucked strings. The sound feels ancient, a connection to countless other quiet evenings spent listening to such distant, beautiful strains. The faint, almost imperceptible scrape of a finger sliding along a fret, a delicate, dry whisper, sometimes punctuates the notes, quickly absorbed by the surrounding silence. You imagine the lute itself, crafted from polished dark wood, its rounded belly reflecting the candlelight in a distant chamber, its strings vibrating with a quiet, internal life. The air in your antechamber, still and cool against your skin, carries the subtle scent of beeswax, mingling now with the ghost of the lute's woody resonance, a delicate, sensory blend. The sounds of the lute continue, a steady, unwavering presence in the profound quiet of the night. Each plucked note, each delicate decay, seems to draw your mind deeper into a state of quiet contemplation, a peaceful, unburdened awareness. The light from your single taper flickers with an exquisite slowness, causing the shadows to dance with a gentle, unhurried rhythm, mirroring the soft, undulating melody. The velvet of the window seat feels plush and soft beneath you, a comforting embrace. You close your eyes for a long moment, allowing the distant, muffled music to deepen its presence in your awareness, becoming the sole focus of your senses. The faint, distant notes of the lute, a soft, melancholic air from the royal apartments, now seem to recede even further, dissolving into the profound quiet that settles over your private antechamber. You rise slowly from the deep, cushioned window seat, its velvet fabric releasing your weight with a gentle, almost imperceptible sigh. The cool, leaded glass of the window, against which your back rested moments ago, now gives way to the warmer, more intimate air of your sleeping quarters. Your soft slippers carry you over the plush Turkish rug, absorbing any sound, deepening the pervasive stillness of the deep night. You approach your bed, a substantial four-poster carved from dark, polished oak, its presence a quiet anchor in the dim, candlelit chamber. The mattress, filled with soft goose feathers, yields with a gentle, inviting softness as you settle onto its edge. The heavy linen sheet, cool and smooth where it has been undisturbed, now gathers slightly around your limbs, a subtle, dry rustle accompanying your movement. The air, imbued with the delicate, sweet perfume of beeswax from the single taper on your bedside table, feels utterly tranquil, a gentle blanket around you. You lie back, allowing the feather mattress to fully embrace your form, feeling its profound, yielding softness conform to your shape, a comforting cradle. The fine linen sheet, pulled up to your chin, feels exquisitely cool and smooth against your skin, a refreshing contrast to the ambient warmth of the room. The subtle scent of clean linen, pure and fresh, rises faintly, mingling with the sweet beeswax, a delicate aroma that promises deep rest. Your hand reaches for the edge of the velvet bed cover, a magnificent piece of deep forest green, lined with an even softer, unbleached linen. The velvet, cool and remarkably plush to the touch, feels incredibly dense and substantial, its weight a comforting presence. You begin to draw it slowly, deliberately, upwards. The fabric, thick and luxurious, glides over the linen sheet with a soft, continuous shush-shush, a gentle, almost whispering friction that is deeply soothing in its regularity. The sound is low, pervasive, a quiet rustle that seems to absorb all other ambient noise, drawing your attention inward. As the velvet bed cover rises, it settles over your body with a profound, comfortable weight. You feel its dense, soft plushness envelop you, pressing gently against your limbs. A reassuring embrace. The fabric, cool at first, slowly begins to absorb and retain your body's warmth, creating a snug, insulated cocoon. The fine, short pile of the velvet feels incredibly soft against your skin, where it brushes, a delicate, almost imperceptible texture that invites a deeper relaxation. The deep green hue of the velvet, softened by the candlelight, appears almost black in the dimness, absorbing the light and deepening the sense of enclosure. The edges of the bed cover settle perfectly around you, tucking in with a gentle, almost imperceptible thud as the heavy fabric meets the sides of the mattress. The comfortable weight of your velvet bed cover, now fully settled, presses gently and evenly across your entire form, a profound, unwavering presence that anchors you to the bed. The lingering faint notes of the distant lute are now almost entirely absorbed by the thick fabric and the profound quiet of your chamber. A mere whisper in the far reaches of your awareness. The soft crackle of the beeswax taper continues its delicate rhythm, a gentle, hypnotic pulse in the serene stillness. You feel the deep, pervasive comfort of the velvet, its warmth slowly, steadily building, a profound sense of security and peace. Your muscles begin to relax even further, the gentle weight of the cover easing any lingering tension, inviting a complete and tranquil surrender. The comfortable weight of your velvet bed cover, a profound, unwavering presence, settles deeply around you, an exquisite embrace that anchors you to the soft feather mattress. The last, distant whisper of the lute has long faded, leaving only the profound, enveloping quiet of your bedchamber in the deep night. The air, imbued with the delicate, sweet perfume of beeswax from the single taper on your bedside table, feels utterly tranquil, a gentle blanket around you, promising the deepest rest. You shift imperceptibly, allowing your body to sink even further into the yielding softness of the goose feather mattress. It cradles your form, conforming to every subtle curve, a comforting, expansive give that seems to absorb all lingering tension. The heavy linen sheet, cool and smooth where it has been undisturbed, now gathers slightly around your limbs with an incredibly soft, dry rustle, a barely there whisper of fabric against fabric. The velvet bed cover, thick and plush, maintains its gentle pressure, a reassuring weight that presses evenly across your entire form, securing you in its warm, dark embrace. You turn your head slowly, deliberately, allowing your cheek to find the cool, smooth surface of the linen pillowcase. It feels exquisitely soft against your skin, a refreshing contrast to the warmth building beneath the velvet. As your head settles, the pillow, filled with dried lavender and soft down, yields with a gentle, silent shush, a soft compression that perfectly supports your head and neck. A delicate, sweet scent, profoundly familiar and deeply calming, rises immediately from the pillow. It is the pure, herbaceous aroma of dried lavender, subtle yet pervasive, a soothing perfume that seems to quiet the very air around you. You breathe in slowly, deeply, allowing the gentle fragrance of the lavender to fill your senses, drawing its calming essence into your lungs. The scent is clean, ethereal, yet profoundly grounding, a whisper of sun-drenched fields and peaceful slumber. You hold the breath for a long moment, feeling the expansion and gentle release within your chest, before exhaling softly, allowing any lingering thoughts to simply drift away on the outgoing breath. The texture of the pillow, though firm in its support, feels soft and yielding beneath the linen, a subtle give that invites deeper relaxation. Your fingers, resting lightly on the velvet bed cover, trace the intricate, almost invisible patterns of its plush pile. The fabric, now thoroughly warmed by your body, feels incredibly soft and luxurious, its deep green hue, a rich, dark expanse that absorbs the dim, filtered light from the distant taper. The only sound is the almost imperceptible crackle of the beeswax wick, a delicate, rhythmic whisper that punctuates the profound quiet of the chamber, a gentle, continuous pulse in the deep silence. The soft glow from the taper, a distant, golden point of light, causes the shadows on the embroidered hangings to sway with an exquisite slowness, a silent, hypnotic dance that seems to mirror the unhurried rhythm of your own breath. You close your eyes, allowing the deep dimness of the room to settle, blurring the last vestiges of sight. The lingering scent of dried lavender from your pillow, constant and unwavering, now becomes the sole focus of your awareness, a soft, fragrant cloud that envelops your mind. You drift, held in the comfortable weight of the velvet, cradled by the soft mattress, bathed in the calming perfume, allowing your thoughts to slow and soften, like the fading light. A profound sense of peace settles over you, a quiet surrender to the tranquil depths of the night, inviting a deep, restorative sleep. The soft, ethereal scent of dried lavender from your pillow, a constant and unwavering presence, now deepens as your awareness softens. The comfortable weight of the velvet bed cover, a profound, unwavering embrace, settles even more completely around you, anchoring your form to the yielding feather mattress, a quiet promise of deep rest. You feel your body sink further into the plush goose feathers, each tiny barb yielding to your weight with an exquisite, unhurried slowness. The mattress cradles your form, conforming to every subtle curve, a comforting, expansive give that seems to absorb all lingering tension. The subtle warmth of the velvet bed cover, now perfectly attuned to your skin, creates a gentle, insulated cocoon, holding you in its quiet embrace. The fine linen sheet beneath you, cool and smooth, offers a delicate contrast, a whisper of freshness against the pervasive warmth, a fleeting sensation against the deeper comfort. Your breath deepens, becoming slow and even, a soft, internal rhythm that seems to echo the quiet pulse of the chamber. The delicate aroma of lavender, subtle yet ever-present, fills your senses with each inhale, a calming wave that washes over your mind, smoothing its edges. You feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a quiet, repetitive motion that is the sole focus of your awareness, a steady, internal tide. With each slow exhalation, any remaining thoughts seem to simply loosen their hold, drifting away on the outgoing air, dissolving into the profound stillness that surrounds you. The distant, soft crackle of the beeswax taper, once a delicate punctuation, now seems to recede into an almost imperceptible whisper, its sound fading to the very edge of hearing. The golden glow from the taper, a distant, muted point of light on your bedside table, softens even further, blurring the edges of the room until only a profound dimness remains. The subtle dance of shadows on the rich, embroidered hangings, once a mesmerizing rhythm, now slows to an almost complete stillness, their forms dissolving into the pervasive darkness, merging with the velvet drapes that shroud the windows. The cool, smooth linen of the pillowcase against your cheek feels exquisitely soft, a grounding touch in the fading sensory landscape. You press your head slightly deeper into the pillow, feeling the gentle, silent swoosh of the dried lavender and down as they yield, providing perfect, unwavering support. The very air around you, still imbued with the delicate, sweet perfume of beeswax and the herbaceous notes of lavender, feels utterly still, a gentle, fragrant blanket. The thick palace walls, ancient and unyielding, hold the night in a profound, protective silence, absorbing any stray sound from the distant city, leaving your chamber as a sanctuary of deep, undisturbed peace. A deep, pervasive sense of peace settles over you, a quiet, unwavering calm that eases every fiber of your being. You surrender to the profound stillness, allowing the gentle current of sleep to carry you softly into the tranquil depths of the Tudor night.